Woohoo! The Hangout is live. Chatterbox number 90. Big milestone.
Oh, 90.
The Holy Trinity of Evil. Because you're back, and I wanted to celebrate that.
Oh, the Holy Trinity of Evil. Okay.
Because then all three of us for once.
Yes, I'm back after a month hiatus.
Yep. I'm sitting over there in his wheelchair.
Yeah, he had to wheel me in.
It was awkward because you don't have a ramp.
Yeah, it was a lot of struggling.
Let me know ahead of time, like, hey, ramp to get in your house.
Don't worry, I cried. It's okay.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Well, me and Stabby were talking about it, and you know, if you don't feel like doing the show, you can just say you don't feel like doing the show. You don't have to get in a car accident.
I go to great lengths to show that I really don't want to be a part of this.
Or hey, this goes even better. Just say you were in a car accident. You don't have to actually get in a car accident.
I'll tell the guy.
I think is a really good point.
That's
totally
true.
We'll believe you, dude.
I'll make sure I'll tell the guy who hit me that I really appreciate the effort, but I can just tell them it's okay, man. You don't actually have to sandwich me between two cars.
Yeah,
to get
think about it
to have me prove my point or have me get my point across.
So you know what it's like to be a cold cut now?
Yeah, man, I am a nice solid serving of salami because that sandwich is a sandwich that nobody wants.
Oh man, I've only been in one accident myself, so and it was not terrible. Yours sounds pretty fucking awful.
Honestly,
yeah, let's hear about it, man.
So this is gonna be a shtick for a little bit because I'm realizing with this accident I have the worst luck with cars. Like, and this is gonna be a stint. So if you guys have anything planned, I can just take over for a little bit. But
no,
so
you sound very motivated, sir.
It's just realizing how much I actually have to say about this. This is kind of ridiculous. So. To start off, though, I'll say why I've been gone for the last month. So yeah, about early, God, what was last month? April? Yeah. On my way to work, I'm about a minute away from my apartment, and there's a sudden stop. A bunch of people. I think there's usually a crosswalk there that people just like to start cutting across and jump out on because people are being a-holes and they don't let them.
Yep.
And so they just kind of jump out there, and so. You have everybody just kind of suddenly braking. I probably missed the person in front of me by maybe a foot. But all I had enough time to do is look in the rearview mirror and see a bumper coming at me. And so I did the one thing that you really shouldn't do when you do that. You brace yourself because instinctively you're going, oh crap.
Yep.
Granted, I do believe that it saved my back and put it all it put it a lot on my legs because I spent a couple days having trouble walking a little bit because my legs were sore. Now my legs are perfectly fine. I've been able it's nothing, so I don't think any long damage has happened, but my muscles were definitely feeling it for like a good 3 days. But my back has been pretty much okay this entire time. So
that's pretty good.
For accidents, yeah. The next part of it, so I saw it, braced myself. He slammed me in the back and pushed me in the car in front of me. So I kind of played bumper cars a little bit. This instance, so he hit me, my head kicked all the way back, and then when I hit the car in front, it pretty much jolted all the way forward.
Did you get airbag or did you get a face full of steering wheel?
Thankfully, I didn't airbag, and thankfully, because I was bracing myself, I didn't get a face full of steering wheel.
Yeah, an airbag would have been pretty bad at that point, I think.
But it was a pretty good hit. The damage of it was my bumper was caved in from pretty much end to end. Like if you think where your trunk is, from one side of your trunk to the other side of your trunk is just this nice long crack, like of my bumper getting caved in. So he hit me without just destroying my back side of my car.
Well, that's a good thing because that's obviously that's designed for that. So I mean, at least it worked.
Yeah, and then the front side got pretty much scraped up a little bit. The headlight kind of jolted off the side and slammed my hood in, and so it kind of folded the hood a bit. Thus breaking. We couldn't open it when it came down to inspection because they had slammed the hood closed pretty much.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So thankfully, the girl in front of me who got hit, who I got pushed into, was pretty much okay for the most part. A cracked bumper, nothing terrible. But my car was totaled. I was still able to drive, thankfully. So it knocked out like a lot of the front stuff, but it didn't take out like the transmission or the engine. Super dangerous to drive that I did for like the first almost 2 weeks after the accident because I needed a car. I needed to get to work. And I was you settle insurance stuff.
Yeah, your insurance pays you out, and then they go after the other companies. It's usually how it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, they usually get you a rental car, no?
It took about a week or so, but I got the rental car.
Wow.
It wasn't fun.
Do you mind saying what insurance company you have? So we can know which one not to get.
Let me just say this part. It's one of the very popular ones.
There you go. Yeah.
It's one of those you're gonna have it because I don't have it because it's popular. It's have it because it's common.
My insurance company is supposed to tell. Well, the one I had at the time.
Is it Mercury?
No.
Okay. Sorry, Stabby.
The one I had, I think, was State Farm at the time, and they're supposed to tow your car if it gets wrecked immediately.
Yeah.
And it's all done for it's part of your insurance. It doesn't cost you anything.
Yeah.
And they hung up on me 3 times, claiming that they lost that my cell phone lost signal.
That's funny.
Until the police officer on scene called them back and said, "And I really suggest you not drop the call again."
Nice.
And lo and behold, not a single problem after
perfect signal. Absolutely perfect signal.
Go ahead with
No, that's perfectly fine. I don't want to actually talk for a solid 20 minutes. I'm sure that's going to bore the crap out of
people. State Farm's notorious for doing shady shit, though, dude.
Oh yeah.
They would actually have give employees pizza parties if they undercut people paying out claims and shit. They're supposed to pay this amount out, but they somehow pay thousands less. They actually throw themselves parties for getting away with paying them out less.
Yeah, oh, I'm not at all surprised.
Yeah. And I definitely, granted for the process of it, it was pretty smooth. Once everything started getting going. But really when it came down to it there was a lot of hiccups with information. There's a lot of phone calls I had to make that aren't just kind of coming to me, where it's there's certain things where I understood the amount I was entitled to and stuff like that, and to some money that I was getting, I would just get, it was pretty easy to get, and the whole process is explained nicely, but there's a few bits and pieces that are extra money I was supposed to get that I know I'm going to have to make that phone call on, that they're not just going to give it to me.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunate. It's these are huge companies that make tons of money. It's if I'm going to get entitled to $500 or something, are you going to really lose sleep over $500? Are you going to get your hand slapped out of just making that phone call hey, I know you're entitled to this, here you go.
Their hope is that
you forget.
The majority of people either forget or are just too stressed out with all the fucking stuff going on with the accident.
And that's
unfortunate. That they don't make that call. And it's
to me, that's
to make a little extra cash.
Yeah, to me, that's unfortunate because I'm going to have to make that phone call and they're going to probably just make an big fuss about it. And it's no, we've already had this conversation several times, so this is happening.
Yeah.
Don't make me get it. And then it's I don't want to ever be the person that says, don't make me get a lawyer involved. That's I never want to be that guy. I never want to be that guy. But it's just I hope I don't have to with this. Hopefully it's just a phone call I have to make. They go, oh, fine. And then there you go.
Usually that's what it takes. You got to keep calling.
Yeah.
All right, look,
which I'm fine with.
I'm entitled to this. Cop it up.
Yeah.
Let's go.
I haven't settled the medical part, though. I haven't settled that. And I refuse to settle that until I get fully checked out. And my doctor.
Yeah, because you should get your back x-rayed and your legs and hips and stuff.
And the doctors are kind of they gave me 8 weeks of heal time for soft tissue damage. I'm guessing that seems pretty typical, especially even from my own research to do it. And so I'm on about week 4. I think I'm coming up on week 4.
About week 4. Are you sure this isn't too strenuous for you?
Yeah, I don't know, man.
An ice pack?
I don't know. It's lots of ice, they gave me muscle racks or stuff like that.
The biggest dick. He's I was in a car accident. I'm more than sore.
It's you. You're just gonna be that way. I just know it. I don't know.
Later you'll have to try one of my carbonated pickles.
I don't want to try your pickle of any kind, thank you.
No, they're real pickles.
Okay.
They're fermented and part of the fermentation process makes them taste like they're carbonated.
Okay.
It's actually pretty good. He's looking at me like I'm crazy, but no,
yeah, a little bit.
So it is you, Stabby.
It is you. I always have to sacrifice. You put this upon yourself.
Oh man,
that's good stuff. But that's the medical side of it. Is that it's a lot of tops of my shoulders, a lot of my neck, from the base of my skull. It's been a couple weeks of definitely a lot of work and sitting down, kind of like how we are right now, would be very stressful after like a couple hours of that. So work was really difficult because I have a sit down job.
Well, and then how do you find you can't just take fucking 8 weeks off of work? They're not going to pay you for 8 weeks.
No, that's not going to happen. Yeah. I mean, I can try to get that out of the medical side of things, but I doubt they'll give me that much money.
Your doctors would have to actually write up like real fucking things.
Yeah, and
a lot of times they don't want to.
Oh god, they don't want to put that on their shoulders.
Yeah.
So it's for the most part, it's not all that bad. I've been able to still do a lot of.
I mean, dude, any accident you can walk away from.
Oh, amen.
Yeah, definitely good.
It's just more along the lines of I don't want to settle out because you can replace a car, but you can't really replace yourself.
Or you can't even replace like a vertebrae. You know what I mean?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. It's like these are particular like neck and back and stuff like that. You can't I'm just gonna cut that out and replace it.
I wasn't gonna say anything because you didn't really cover too much of it. But before you mentioned that you're gonna get checked out, and I was like, because before you were like, oh, I just felt kind of sore. The next day I'm like, oh fuck.
Oh no!
Not gone to the doctor yet?
No, day 2. That was the only reason I didn't do it day 1 was because I just wanted to lay down and I was exhausted. And I had gotten all the insurance stuff started.
Hits and then fucking drops. And then you gotta go deal with all the stress of like talking with some asshole who's like, well, technically, you're insurance. And you're gonna have to fill out this form, and we're gonna need to take some picture.
Yeah. But
did you have any weirdness driving again after the accident? Like a little bit more apprehensive?
Surprisingly, no. I mean, weird. I think it was more along the lines of because it wasn't my fault.
Right. There's different levels of resilience. Because something that might be traumatizing for somebody else might not be traumatizing for you.
Well, the thing is, it's not. This is the second segment of it, and we can spare. I can hold back on how much I actually share. Because it might take a while, but this is my first rodeo when it comes down to being in accidents, and when it was my fault, the one previous time I've had where it was a big accident where I pretty much totaled my car. I mean, I went up against a truck with a metal bumper, like a decent sized truck. I lost that fight. and so this was one where I was still fairly young. I got it was my first car that I had pretty much destroyed.
Yeah.
And also shout out to a 99 Corolla because with that car being my first and being 18, 19, I think I might have been 20 when it happened. I tried to kill that car. I actively tried. And
those things are fucking epic.
I tried, destroyed the front end. The only thing that survived from the front end was the engine and the transmission. Replaced everything, or replaced it. Started up, kept going. It lasted for another 2 years in my possession until I sold it off because the brakes finally gave out. And so then I was like, I just can't pour more money into this thing. And sold it off to some family members, and then they fixed it up and gave it. And the reason why I died. So we sold it off at 280,000 miles. That's a lot of miles. The only reason it died, the people I sold it off to, they forgot to change the oil or replace the oil. So burnt out the motor.
I was serious. I was going to bet fucking oil right now.
Yeah, and so it's how do you?
Because they burn oil like a motherfucker.
No, not really. That thing was just.
Well, I had a '94 Tercel, and fucking Toyota's just after a certain number of miles start burning oil.
Yeah, it was just amazing. That's the way it goes. That thing could have gone easily 350 miles, and it was a zombie by the time I sold it off because it has its entire face just got rearranged because of my stupid ass, and so and I just replaced the face, and then there you go, you got a car. Yeah, it's still ran.
Tercels, Corollas.
It's just unreal.
What is the other one? Tercel, Corolla, and then there's the fucking main one. I can't think of it.
Main one?
Toyota sedans. There's like 3 different kinds. There's Corolla, Tercel, and then there's
Camry.
Like Camry.
I thought that was a Honda, the Camry.
No, it's Toyota. Toyota Camry's like their top of the line.
Oh, I thought that was a.
But those 2 fucking sedans are maybe the most reliable on the fucking planet. Closely followed by like the Honda fucking. You remember those old hatchbacks?
Yeah.
The Accord. Is it the Accord?
Rolled the fucking odometer. That is more than 1 million goddamn miles running great.
It's just unreal.
Yeah, on multiple occasions. I've also seen one of those trucks where like a clown car, like 20 Mexican dudes get out the back. They used to change tires. I've changed tires for like maybe 2 years, 2.5 years. So I saw a lot of weird shit. Like there's one where somebody wanted their like 90-year-old grandma to sit in the fucking Suburban on the rack while we changed tires.
Mm-hmm.
We're like, fucking no.
How about no?
But yeah, like I've seen a bunch of cars that like had just like the ones Tercel and Honda are probably like just Toyota and Honda are probably the most reliable.
Oh yeah,
out there for sure.
Shout out to Toyota and Honda. We are not sponsored by them, but I wish we were.
Saturns are great. Kias are great right up until fucking the 3rd or 4th year, and then they're done.
Yeah. So I've spent pretty much the last 4 weeks healing, car shopping, and trying to find a new place to live because my lease ends in June. And so, thankfully, and the reason why I'm back now is because, for the most part, all of that's been taken care of. I bought a car this week, and as of yesterday, got a new place.
So you're not going to be in the same place? You're moving to a different one?
No, I'm
up a new lease.
Yeah, because the place I'm currently living in is just way too expensive, and so the place
just bought a van and then fucking moved into the van.
That'd probably be pretty sweet.
Moved down by the river.
Yeah, man in the van down by the river.
Abby's got all kinds of knowledge for you on that, dude. Yeah. He loves the van life.
Dude, I have a wish list on Amazon.
Oh dear.
That would kit it out. Like there's a way for you to set up a shower, power, solar power, super cheap within. You could probably kit out a van to live in if you really wanted to or were desperately needed to. You could kit one out for, I would say, whatever the van cost, $900, $800, $900 tops. You could build in like a pretty good bed, something to cook off of.
You're talking like an RV van, right?
I'm not talking like an RV van. I'm talking like just a regular van. You could build in the back everything you needed. The only thing you'd have to do is if you're going to take a shower, you'd have to either have a gym showers or be like in a campground or somewhere where you can set up a shower tent.
Okay.
But literally, you could put in like a little tiny porta potty with a cassette toilet so that you can just take the cassette out, dump it in any kind of whatever sort of public restroom you find. That you can get
dear.
Into, which is super easy.
Oh, no. You already lost me there.
Nope. You can also connect it to like an RV dump station for a little price, and it just goes through a tube and you don't actually see
the more
anything.
Well, the more I don't have to deal with that end of things, the better.
That's the only downside, though. Everything else is like up.
To me, that's just it. That's the line right there, man. Like
oh man,
wow. Have you been near me?
Dude, I used to have a friend when I was in fucking just out of high school who would pee in soda cans for the longest time because he'd stayed with like another friend, like their family.
Yeah.
And was so scared to leave the room after like 6 o'clock in the evening because everybody was like super quiet and it was like some sort of weird, creepy situation he was in, and the whole family was just weird and creepy.
Sounds weird and creepy.
So he would just like he had gotten this habit of like peeing in soda cans and saving them up and like dumping them the next day.
Wow.
Hey, I can rightfully say that probably all guys have at some point or another have either peed in a can or a bottle.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just at some point, you just need to.
Preferably a wide mouth bottle.
Yeah, preferably. Like it doesn't want to just like, I really hope this goes and does what I hope it's doing or what I want to do.
Well, just don't create a seal.
Oh god!
Because then it's like everything just goes splashing.
Yeah, the way it goes. Oh dear. So,
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But no, this I can't do that. That camping, dealing with my own crap after I've dealt with it.
Well, I mean, the other choice is like a Blackwater tank, but that costs fucking like $1,000 to install and all that shit.
Yeah, or I can just, if I'm gonna live out in the middle of nowhere, just go crap in the woods.
Well, yeah, you just take a shovel, crap in the woods, or use like a public restrooms. It's also easy.
That's too. There's just like
that would be to me like, okay, if I were in that situation, my primary would be like use public restrooms or just
I definitely.
But I figure, you never know when there's going to be like an emergency and there is no other option. I'd rather have something to use than nothing.
Yeah.
So it's like, you get like a little porta potty thing.
I like this is what we're talking about. My first day back in a month, and we're talking about.
So we're trying to convince me to handle like a little bit of raw sewage. It's not gonna kill you, man.
Have you, like I said, weapons grade, man? It's bad.
Nothing will beat that dude that I was talking about. This dude used to melt like blocks of cheese an inch thick. Like that were like the 4-inch by 4-inch, like the sandwich size, but like the big fucking long blocks of cheese.
Mm-hmm.
He would cut like an inch off of it, melt it in the microwave, douse it in Tabasco sauce, and just eat the whole thing in one bite when it was melted.
Oh,
this man could gas fucking anyone out of the room.
God.
I don't know. I put up a good fight. I'm just gonna admit
you might be able to come close, but
I might put up a good fight. That's straight rancid though. And I'm really happy I don't have that kind of diet, or I might start killing people.
I changed diapers and stuff, and like I was like, "Oh my god, I can't handle this gas."
Dude, I had a guy, a dude that I went to rehab with. He actually ended up in the same sober living house as me, and that fucking guy, dude. Yeah, every time he fucking farted, dude, it was. And nasty, like you had to leave the room, dude. It wasn't just like, oh, that's pretty nasty, I'm just gonna waft it away or whatever. It literally was like you had to fucking get the fuck out because it was that fucking potent. And for the longest time, he was blaming the food at the fucking rehab. And then, like about a month and a half into that, I'm like, dude, it's not the fucking rehab food. That ain't in your system, and it hasn't been for a long fucking time. Like, dude, go outside with that shit. You have fucking weapons grade flatulence, dude.
just bottle that stuff up and sell it to the military.
Dude, it was unbelievable, dude. I was like, how the fuck does that happen? Again, nobody's farts smell good. Well, except to themselves, obviously. But, like it's so powerful that it's making you fucking sick and gag, dude. I don't know, man. Fucking weird.
Really, that sound exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Really close. It was pretty close.
Yeah. Good job. Should I give her a whirl? See what it
nailed it.
For you.
I will. That will be a legit gag. That would definitely do it.
I could actually do that, so don't worry.
You should.
I think I would draw the line at shit in a jar.
God damn.
Sorry, I've seen van dwellers who talk about having to shit in jars.
Yeah.
So that was my go-to.
Good stuff. Oh my god.
Dude, I'm not comfortable enough knowing where my fucking butthole is to fucking make sure I get it in the jar, to be honest with you. I would need a really fucking wide mouth, dude, before I'd be comfortable doing something like that.
Oh Christ. This is what
you can see the sauerkraut that I'm making. See, I did.
If we're talking about stuff in jars.
Nice segue.
Nice segue.
Yeah. Sit out there for a couple of days.
Always wanted to say it. Nice segue, Paul Blart.
Hey. This is why we have such a large audience in our chat. It's so busy and active.
Yeah. Eventually.
Hold on.
Well, I guess while you're doing that and putting stuff in the chat when there's no one there, so I'll finish off my bit for cars.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Because I want to share this like epiphany I had after having this accident. Is that like I have the worst luck with cars. Like, because if I go down the line of all of the cars I've had probably about four or five.
And
I've been driving since 18. And so for the last 10 years, I've had 5 cars.
And he's like 20 now, so.
20 now? Yeah, I'm so young. 20 years young. If that was the case, then I would be like doom for any car that I touch. Like just call me death. I'll just drive around like a big trench coat or a cloak.
I was just casually pointing out that you didn't point out how long you've been driving. You just mentioned that you've been driving.
I said 10 years.
Oh, you said 10 years?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear that.
Come on, man. Over 10 years by this point, actually.
Over 10 years.
So because my first car, I got into 2 accidents with the Corolla. And then my next one was, after I got rid of that, I had a Dodge Neon.
Dodge Neon, that's not bad.
So they're not bad little cars, pretty basic. That one got hit when it was parked, and it got hit in the tire somehow, and it destroyed the axle. Snapped it in two.
Do that. Yeah, because you hit it right at that fucking point.
And so lost that one, and now I drove an Altima. After that, because it was the only car that I had available. My folks were giving away, like, wanted to get a new car, so I got theirs.
Oh, that was nice.
Yeah, so yeah, like I still, I mean, I had to obviously pay for it, but like it was a car that was there.
Yeah, but they're going to give you a reasonable deal, and you have an idea of how well it was taken care of. That's
exactly.
Big fucking.
Plus, this one was on its last leg. It had been driven around. It had a lot of road trips on it, so I'm driving its golden years. And so, but then when it came down to it, it was dying. I just started driving it one day, and the engine was just trying to die on me.
Ooh.
It was like having trouble starting, having trouble driving. Like it was puttering along. And I was like, okay, I need to get another car before this thing. That was probably the only car that had not gotten hit while in my possession, but it just died. So I was like, okay, well, and then I bought the Ford after that.
Yeah,
and then I got sandwiched. It's nice. Like, so my history with cars is terrible.
You're almost as bad as my little brother. My brother just crashed every car.
And the thing is some of it's my fault, some of it's not. Some of it's just shitty luck. But if we were talking about the whole like having trouble getting back to it, it was when I folded my hood with the Corolla. Was definitely that took some time to get back to. I mean, that
explains it though, because you've already gone through that process.
Yeah, so that explains a little bit more of why I'm probably better now. Yeah. But then also realizing why I'm so much better with it now is because when it was my fault, then I was a little more you second guess your abilities because it's your fault that you screwed up something horrible.
Well, and then you get to see how much damage it really is. It's like a little more like real of like I could probably kill somebody if I'm not fucking paying attention when I drive.
Yeah, it's really like kind of a good realization of like how traumatic this can possibly be, even just for myself. Like I lost that accident, like I lost that fight. Like if anyone was gonna walk out fine, it was them. I could have made that 1,000 times worse for myself.
Well, but I mean, when you see the amount of damage, that's the part that really strikes home. To like you're driving, 2,000 or 3,000, maybe 4,000 pounds of fucking metal death down the road at however much speed you want to go at.
And the tough part was like even when I was passengering, because I actually I would ask people to when I'd ask for rides and stuff like that. Like my parents would be driving me somewhere, and every time they'd stop right up behind somebody, I'd flinch. And I swear to God, that took almost 3 months to even somewhat get rid of. Like it took a lot to shake that, and so it was incredible. Like just tweak it just enough where you're like, wow, I don't want to do this. I don't want to be in a car, but yeah,
I've been there, man.
10 years later, it's like we're over, I guess. Yeah. It's whatever. I'm glad it's not my fault this time. I really hope this one lasts. I want this one to last at least 5 years. Give me 5 years with this car.
I can't ride in cars with most other people driving.
Huh.
It has to be somebody I really trust to drive well.
Do you trust me?
I don't know that I've ever been with you driving.
That's a nice way of saying no.
Yeah, that's a very nice way of saying no.
If you're a good driver, I'd be fine. It's just like as long as the driver's good.
Well, I don't get a lot of speeding tickets or anything, but have you seen my luck with cars?
But
just explain.
Lake County to our town is bare minimum about an hour, right?
More or less.
I've made the trip in 15 minutes.
Oh dear.
in a truck that's bigger than a Chevy Suburban.
Why?
Because the guy that was driving it was a fucking cunt.
Okay.
And I was stuck. He would not slow down. At one point, I was like, I just want out of the fucking truck.
Yeah, no, fuck that.
And so for like probably a good 6 months, I couldn't ride with anybody else driving at all.
That's unreal, the amount of speed that guy was going then. That's like, I don't know, can that truck, that's like over, you'd probably have to be cooking like 100 miles an hour.
Yeah, on hairpin turns.
Oh, God.
Like, you know, like those switchback kind of roads where you go up and down a mountain?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So for like anybody who doesn't know the fucking Lake County area, which is probably anybody else.
Yeah, which is pretty much everybody.
Fucking, it's all like fucking switchbacks.
Yeah.
Mm.
And this dude was taking them at like 80 miles an hour.
God damn.
At night. So I'm just fucking, and I forget what he's listening to. I think it was like fucking Rush. Oddly enough.
It's like, this is how I die. Careening off a mountain in a truck by some asshole because of some asshole.
Like the last
listening
5
to
minutes
Rush.
of the ride, I just was like with my eyes closed, like fucking bracing for death.
Yeah.
Like, I do not want to see my death coming. Just let it happen.
Well, I was telling him like the whole time, I'm like, look, I don't have to be back that soon to get to work because I'd helped the guy drop off a vehicle up there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, look, I don't need to be at work that soon. Like, we're going to be fine if you fucking slow it down.
Yeah.
And he fucking wouldn't do it. I don't hang out with that guy anymore.
It's like, just nope.
Yeah, so it should have been obvious that you were uncomfortable, and you just said, fuck it. I don't care.
That's also the dude that rented out a house and was growing weed in it way before weed was legal to grow in any way, shape, or form in California. Was like, hey, dude, let me go get you some weed. I'm like, fuck no. Like, I don't want to know anything about this.
How about you don't talk to me about this ever again?
Yeah, it's like, I never had this conversation.
Criminal activities to yourself, buddy.
Yeah.
That was exactly my statement. I was like, look, man, I don't want anything to do with whatever crime you're committing. I don't want to be an accessory. I don't want to be a witness. I don't want to have to talk to anybody about it. I'm out.
That sounds like fun.
Oh, man.
Well, yeah, that's my spiel. How long my spiel take? Over 30 minutes. Nice.
Yeah.
Spiel's over.
Ate up some time.
Should we go to something a little lighter now?
Yes.
Yeah, why not?
I can find something a little lighter here.
Hit me with your best shot.
Although I have been that guy driving like fucking ridiculously fast, like coming back from Flagstaff, which is again about I don't know, a couple hundred miles north of Phoenix. Me and a friend went up there. We're kind of scouting out houses because we were going to move up there, apartments or whatever. But basically, the trip back down to Phoenix usually takes about roughly 2 hours, and I made it in about an hour and 15 minutes. So basically, I was hitting like 100 to 110 like the whole way down, and you're going, and it's a mountain. Like Flagstaff's up around 7,000 feet elevation, you know, down to Phoenix, which is about 1,400. So it's basically you're going through the mountains. There's a lot of ups and downs, a lot of twists and turns and shit. And yeah, the dude was like, "Hey, man," kind of like what Stabby was like, dude. But I did kind of back off. But I'm like, dude, come on, I want to fucking hurry up and get home, dude. I chilled out around like the corners and shit, because you know, like when you turn a corner, it has a yellow sign that says how fast you should go. I was generally going about 30 miles an hour faster than whatever that said around the corners.
Oh God.
Yeah, in a van, in a fucking minivan. It wasn't even like a fucking sports car or anything.
So it turns from a curve to a ramp.
Very easily could have, dude.
Vroom, them old Duke boys. It was at this moment where Detois realized he fucked up.
Thank you, Mr. Jennings. I appreciate the voiceover.
Oh, man. Okay. So yeah, this was a thing I saw like tweeted out today, like a big thing. Was corporal in the UK military is facing court-martial because he reduced a female recruit to tears. I'm not going to play the video because, like, I don't know, it's just not going to really be worth it. But
hey, look, an ad.
Watch the video. Oh my goodness, you're crying for you. But at one point, he actually said, "Show me your war face," like fucking straight out of Metal Jacket.
Wow.
That's not your war face. Show me your war face. He literally did that shit.
So but like, it was a fucking Full Metal Jacket.
It was nothing out of line. I mean, it was typical like military training stuff.
Yeah.
And this chick was like not really pushing herself.
Yeah.
Not really following orders.
Okay.
And she was really slow to fucking be on the ball to fucking do anything he said or instructed. Right, which was a fucking trip, and it was like watching the most ridiculous, like watching a 4-year-old fucking try to avoid fucking chores or something.
Wow.
Except it's an adult, so you don't have any fucking sympathy whatsoever. Because a 4-year-old, you can get it, like they're fucking 4. That they can even remember there is a chore to avoid is pretty fucking impressive. But this chick was ridiculous, man. It was fucking. He was not. I mean, it wasn't even as bad as you see in movies.
Wow. So they're making a big deal about it because she cried.
Yeah. She was doing an exercise where apparently she was hiking down maybe a shin height river.
Yeah.
And then getting out and feigning a bayonet attack on a dummy, and then doing more hiking. And she's barely walking. And this guy's like, fucking move your ass, hurry, keep it low. Like stuff that you would have to do in an actual military, combat situation, which she's training for. She's just not really doing anything he said. She's just kind of sauntering along. It was pretty ridiculous, man. I'm like, honestly, I don't think he yelled at her enough.
Right.
Because if this bitch ends up in combat and that's the way she's fucking acting, she's gonna make it.
Yeah.
It's just like, you have to go make it through, lady. This is training you to keep yourself alive when other people want to kill you, or
even in keeping your fellow soldiers alive. Like you have your soldiers back as much as
absolutely
they have yours. And what's important is you're as good a soldier as the person standing next to you. You have to be better than that, and that's important because it's. Like I said, it's trying to survive a situation where people are just wanting you dead.
Yeah. And the training is supposed to break you down mentally, physically, and emotionally. It's intended to do that so that you know where those breaking points are, and so do they. Not only do you know it, but then you know how to deal with those breaking points. That's the whole fucking point. So when you're at your physical breaking point, your emotional breaking point, your mental breaking point. That's important to be aware of in those kind of extreme situations because they will get you there.
Yeah.
And you need to be able to handle that, and you need to know how you respond. And it's like, that's part of the training. So, like, that he reduced her to tears is like, well, yeah.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, it's one of those, like, really dark things that you hear about the military, but you don't see it as much. Because like
it's really a dark thing, though.
Well, it's dark because it's someone getting broken down. Like that's hard to watch. To me, that's hard.
Okay, it's difficult for people to watch.
Yeah, that's what I mean by something dark. Because it's like because what you're doing is you're breaking somebody down, which is never. That's not like you're not eating this with popcorn, going like, oh boy, I hope she cries. It's like
you're not.
Maybe you're. Oh god. But it's just like you're not doing it. It's something where it's a very serious situation where it's like no. I'm trying to make it so if there's an explosion next to you, you're going to piss yourself and you can be okay with that.
Yeah. or in modern military stuff, if you come across dead kids or something, you're not just going to freeze and be incapable of doing it.
Which, honestly, you can only train so much for that anyways. And so you're still going to, you can see it, or you can see it in pictures or something. It's when it's finally sitting in front of you. It's still your basic, your instincts are going to like, go one way or another. You're either going to be like, oh,
you can train for that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It won't necessarily save everybody, but the amount of people it's going to save is going to be drastically higher than with no training.
Oh, yes. Oh, God,
so,
yes.
I mean, that's the whole point. It's like, well, we lose less people this way.
Yeah.
So.
And it's a thing that it's not for everybody. This kind of stuff, this kind of training is not for everybody. Military training isn't for everybody. That's why not everyone's. I do understand, which is actually kind of an interesting concept. is forced military training to some extent, like a 2-year stint that you see that in I think it's South Korea. You have to do a 2-year stint training, or at least all the men do.
In Israel,
a lot of European countries as well.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not sure. Like,
dude. Israel for sure.
Oh yeah.
Israel definitely has compulsory military.
And honestly, I think to some extent that's actually really smart, because it's a means of discipline. It's a means of training, means of defending yourself. I think we need it a little less because we're not so in the shit of it. But I mean, to everyone be able to handle weapons, to not be scared of it, to be able to defend yourself, even just combat style.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like be able to like. Well, we
couldn't do it.
What's that?
We couldn't do it. Our population is so much higher that the cost would be just fucking astronomical.
Yeah, that's true.
If we could, I think we should. But can you imagine we have like 700 million fucking people?
Yeah. The cost of that would be quite ridiculous.
At any given point, probably at least half, if not 3/4, are like military capable. So it'd be like it'd probably be like 100 million people at a time.
Damn, that's a lot of people.
And imagine how much money we spend on roughly 1.5 million soldiers on any given point that we have out in the field.
Yeah.
Oh, Metal Man says if she's ever, she'll just sue the prison commander if she's ever caught as a POW.
It took me a second to get that. I was like, wait, what? Oh, okay. Smart. There you go.
That was funny. Yeah,
that's solid.
But yeah, I just thought that was
She'll ask to speak to the HR person at the POW camp, dude.
Yeah.
There's somebody HR can speak to. I mean, the conditions here are just really uncomfortable.
Yeah. Can you not whip me? I don't want to get whipped for information.
I do not consent.
I have this trouble with interrogations. I mean, I have this thing in my back, that just kind of hurts, and you guys keep whipping me in that one spot.
Like this blister.
Yeah, like it's starting to like chafe. Do you guys have any like, talcum powder to help me with the? It's like the D.
Oh, that'll be how the wars are won in the future. I'm not sure if this is what happened, but I honestly want to see fucking 100 people on each side of a battle just whining at each other, trying to come up with the most whining shit, and then they win, and the other ones just run off crying.
You guys are dumb. He pushed me. I'm just making it worse.
Just fucking cry battles in fucking 2020 or
just
something.
Feed that battle or feed that fire. Just keep. Oh God, no! I think I just got muted.
No, you didn't get muted.
I can hear you. You're good.
Hey. Oh, I think I wasn't sure. I hit the headphone cord like a genius. Man, 1 month off and you get rusty. Start whacking shit.
Oh man. Okay, now something that's actually like instead of
okay.
fucking with you guys.
Oh dear.
So this is the higher and lower game. Let me share this.
Oh dear.
And,
that image though.
I'm gonna go classic. So which do you think is so teeth whitening has 301,000 average monthly searches on like Google.
Oh, we're playing.
Do you think Chenille No Kill has a higher amount of searches or a lower amount of searches than teeth whitening?
Okay.
I don't know. He's been retired for a while. No, he's still in those commercials. I'm gonna say Shaquille O'Neal's higher than that, dude.
I see. The thing is like I like Shaquille O'Neal. Like I think he's gonna get research or searched a lot, but we're also very vain. So I'm gonna say teeth whitening. I'm gonna say lower.
I think Shaq's still up there.
I would agree with Dave. I think it's higher. So we got 2-1.
Okay, I'm wrong.
550,000 monthly searches. Now, and then it goes on to IBM, which is higher. Shaquille O'Neal with 550,000 searches or IBM?
Yeah, I think it's lower. I would go lower.
Oh man, IBM.
That one is kind of tough, dude, but I think it's lower. Anybody searching specifically IBM?
Yeah, IBM specifically. I might go lower on that one too.
I would agree, lower.
Oh, blown away.
Oh, shit. We suck.
Okay, second try. Let's give ourselves a couple. How many rounds do you want to do this of life?
We'll do this for like 5 or 10 minutes.
Okay.
I mean, unless it gets really repetitive and fucking awful.
Yeah.
I'm going higher on this one, dude.
Chinese takeaway. Okay, yeah.
How no, you
Oh yeah. I'm gonna cry if we lose on this one. Yes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, dude, that shouldn't even be close.
Poor.
Fucking, I want to say higher.
I kind of want to say higher too.
Wait, just the word poor? Is that what they're saying?
Or is
the
word poor in? Yeah. See, that's the one thing. Does it have?
Yeah, just again, searches with the word poor in it, or just searching the word poor.
Just searching the word poor, I think.
I want to be funnier. I want to say higher.
I would hope it's lower, man.
I would hope it's lower, but to be funnier, I'd say higher.
Right. I honestly don't know. We'll say lower.
Okay.
All right.
That's much lower.
Okay, good. I'm glad I'm wrong. Like, there's faith. There's faith in humanity now.
You're out, Mad Metal Man.
Oh, I can't see the chat.
I got the
Porter
chat.
Collie's going to be way fucking higher, dude.
Yeah.
Porter Collie.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Doggo, man. Doggo for the win.
1,220,000. Yeah.
Boom.
Ooh,
Yeah, higher.
Oh,
higher.
God damn it.
It's Maroon 5.
Yeah, they're still pretty popular, yeah.
The music. I just want Border Collie to be like that much more popular.
Yeah, I would like Border Collie to be higher, but
how relevant is? I'm sorry, I cut you off, man.
That's all right. Good.
Yeah. But yeah, is Maroon 5 still that popular?
I think they are, man.
I think they
They
still
probably are, dude. Yeah, going higher.
Oh,
they're lower. Oh, I'm so happy.
Oh God.
It's actually 301,000 versus HCC
Vive. All the way.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Vive, dude.
See, okay, he went.
Any technology like that.
Okay, we gotta.
Yeah, that's true. That was close. What the fuck is that?
Chapecoense. It
What the fuck
looks
is that?
like a soccer team.
Oh Jesus, it's gonna be higher then.
I think it's gonna
If
be
it's
higher.
a fucking soccer team, any fucking soccer team is gonna be probably.
I think
higher,
so. Yeah. Ooh.
Not by a lot.
Not the most popular soccer team. Magic.
versus Shrooms.
Oh man, sorry.
I think Liberty Caps are gonna be higher for sure.
We just made Mad Metal's night by having Maroon 5 be lower.
I kind of think Magic Mushrooms is going to be lower, but I don't know. What do you guys think?
Oh, I think higher. I think a lot of people
Really
want to do drugs.
No, I think it's lower.
You guys both say lower?
I say
higher. You guys say lower.
Yeah, probably not much if it is, but
it's Magic Mushrooms. It's very specific. Ooh.
Wow.
That.
Wait, girl with a pearl
necklace.
earring.
It's a little more pornographic.
Not a pearl necklace, a pearl earring.
Pearl earring.
I'd say higher just for the sake. I really hope.
Higher.
Yeah.
Plus, it's only 135,000. The last one.
Really?
Oh shit.
Oh, that's depressing.
Shawshank Redemption has 550,000.
Oh, Madonna's way fucking higher.
Madonna.
That's way higher.
Oh wait, is she nowadays?
Oh yeah.
0.8.
Oh,
Okay, so
yeah.
still, that's depressing too.
Ooh, Whitney Houston versus Madonna. Now it's crazy.
I hope Whitney Houston is higher.
I think Whitney Houston's
Probably
gonna be
not.
higher because I think a lot of people probably think her death was a fucking like a conspiracy thing.
Right.
I think.
Yeah, I'd say higher, but
Okay, I'll go
I
against.
don't know if I just want it to be.
Okay, we both say higher.
I don't
You say
really.
lower.
I don't really have a good reason for it. I just think it's lower.
Oh, you're right. Lower.
All right.
This should be our last one, guys.
Stalking.
Stalking has hit him in 23.
Oh, Kit Kat.
Oh God.
Kit Kat.
Kit Kat's gonna be way higher, dude.
Kit Kat higher?
I really hope it's higher.
I say higher. Too.
Right.
Oh
Fuck
no.
it.
No.
All right, guys.
Come on, people! It's a fucking Kit Kat. It's delicious.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make sure to keep this one favorited because we can come back to it again in a few weeks.
You can snap it. You gotta snap it and enjoy it, but don't stalk people. Don't stalk people,
That
please.
is pretty depressing, dude.
That's just oh God.
Oh, here was another one I thought was kind of funny. Just a little quickie before we move totally on. So some chick, I guess a couple of ladies got together and did like concealed carry pics to support Trump. I don't know why.
Reasons.
But apparently Twitter just fucking got all angry at them for posting pictures of like girls with guns. Apparently that was a big thing. That was kind of bizarre. I'm like, wow, who cares, right? Like, whatever. But yeah, I thought that was terribly entertaining.
So people were actually furious that they did that.
There was a bunch of people that were like pissed off by it. Yeah.
Wow.
Made a small spike in Twitter.
In the Twitterverse.
In the Twitterverse. You know what? I think it might have been close to the time that the Parkland shootings stuff was going on. Although that shit's still going on, so who the fucking knows?
Right.
But yeah, I thought that was kind of funny. Like, people were all like, "You put a picture of you with a gun on the internet." Yeah. Just like fucking. I guess you gotta be mad about something.
Well, yeah. Well, again, you've got a fucking, a huge segment of the population now that is going to find some way to be offended about anything, especially anything to do with guns. You know what I mean? So it's really not surprising. I wish it was. But, yeah.
You offend me.
Yeah, anything to do with guns, people are going to get mad, dude.
So, okay, then let's jump from something that is like, why are people getting mad? Or to something that people should actually be mad about, which is, have you heard of the Penske thing?
What?
She was a Brazilian YouTuber that was caught completely ripping off several other YouTubers. But so here's my bit of little YouTube gossip.
Oh, that's pretty fucked up.
So I think her name is Penske, and this has long been settled by about a week ago, I think. But I'm a big fan of big fan of My Mother's Basement. He is an anime analysis YouTuber.
Oh, right on. I might have to check that out because I'm getting into anime.
Yeah, and so he does like OP stuff. Just quick tidbit. He does a lot of like analyzing OPs. Kind of focuses on like the artfulness of each one. Artfulness. That's a $5 word, right?
Yeah.
Artfulness. On design, just like how it looks, and it's just like his take on it. And so it's more like it's just someone who's doing it's like an art analysis, and he just hones it into anime, and he has a lot of funny stuff. And the thing is it was him and several other YouTubers didn't realize that this was happening, but it was somebody who I guess what she was doing was pulling more or less the script from those animes,
the script.
And then since it's a different language, would translate it over to Portuguese, which is what she spoke.
Oh, yeah, that's actually
and almost actually what looked like verbatim,
probably
the same exact video. But the thing is there was no pictures. It was a lot of their kind of stuff. Their actual like the originals had like edits and pictures, like clips from video clips and stuff like that, and hers was nothing more than sitting in front of like pretty much if you turn on the camera right now.
Yeah, I saw like Misty Cronexia. I just watched some of his stuff, and he does anime stuff, and I've seen what that style of video.
Yeah.
So there's usually like stuff from the anime they're talking about or similar.
Yeah.
If they're talking about it, like to like talk about art style or like what era of anime it is.
Yeah. And so it turned into nothing more than a redone or translated version of turned into a vlog style kind of thing, where it's just like you're just kind of sitting in front of the camera and talking and sharing pretty much.
How long was she doing that for?
Oh, it seemed like for months by the looks of it. And pretty much someone pointed out, and it turned into a little bit of a Twitter stint of like, kind of doing all this. There's a lot of like back and forth with, pretty much trying to not get caught with it. Like saying, like, no, this is how I found all my stuff, which turned out to be a lot of BS. She's obvious reasons because all of her videos would appear afterwards.
Script, yeah. I mean, you didn't even go to the effort of like
changing some things up,
rewriting the thing in your own sort of voice, which would have been like, at least then they really don't have any sort of legal grounds.
Yeah, if it's at least transformative in some way.
Yeah. Although she's in fucking Portugal.
Brazil, but
Brazil.
it was translated over to Portuguese.
So yeah, there's probably nothing they can really. There's probably no recourse to go after her financially, but they can get her YouTube channel.
It might not be it might not be a legal thing like a copyright thing. Yeah. Well, outside of YouTube, like I think because
that's what I'm saying. Outside of YouTube, there's probably nothing they can do, but YouTube will probably shut her down. Oh yeah, she's shut down. I actually have actively tried to find her channel to see if it's there, and nothing else shows up. No, yeah, it's definitely.
And I'm perfectly happy with that. Like, you know, we do like some effort goes into what we do on a weekly basis.
We work so hard. Man.
Yeah,
I look at Twitter every so often and get articles.
You just kind of thumb through it. Well, with your bottle of lotion.
You guys show up.
You know, we show up. We're here. We do stuff. But we're like the bare minimum of effort. We have stuff that records our voices, and we don't even use our faces, and so like literally the bare minimum. And so it's
at your crotch or something.
That sounds perfect. But to people who actually like do editing, do all this work, like put in a lot of effort, it's disgusting to steal from that, and it's just like. You know, like, and that's like you're just stealing off of people's livelihoods and stuff like that, man.
I'm surprised she got away with it for that long.
I just think I just think the language barrier is what did it.
Yeah, but I mean, anywhere but here, everybody speaks like their language plus English, or not everybody, but a lot of people. You know,
it's too dark, man. You can't see me.
Very, very ominous. Sinister.
God
damn. Now I got a chub.
You said okay, so I was like, I gotta fucking do it now.
I did consent to that, so yes.
Oh man.
Okay. For some reason, this reminded me of like one of the most awkward Uber rides I've had in a very long time.
Okay.
So
flashlight in the crotch. So this Uber ride I had.
Well, just kind of being on camera when you're like, well, technically, I was like, I guess it's okay. Kind of moments.
Is like an Uber that films everything?
Yes. So it was me and my buddy. We were gonna go, go hit the bars up and have a drink or two. And so we were like, okay, well, we don't want to drive, so we call up an Uber. Guy shows up. And he's a little quirky. He's not a terrible guy. He wasn't like an asshole or anything. He's just a little off. But like when we both sat down, he's like, okay, I have my camera right here. And he flips it over and he's like, here. And I'm sitting in the back. He's like, here, lean forward so I can get your face. And so I'm guessing this is all for legal reason kind of stuff. But it's just like,
well, there's a lot of people that try to cancel the ride like in the middle of it. Hoping that the Uber driver won't know. For him, I get where he's coming from. It's like he has an opportunity to be like, no, look, they were in my car.
But
so when they cancel the ride,
here's the thing with that though. You asked me if I wanted to be on camera. He did not ask me to be on camera. He pretty much just said like, "Hey, I'm recording this," and that would have been at that instant though. Like I would have been like, if I really didn't want to be on camera, I'd be like, no. I don't want to be.
I would just be like, cancel. I'll get another Uber. Yeah, I'll get another Uber. But,
it's just like
I can kind of see where he's coming from though, because I do know that happens to Uber drivers.
Well, yeah, and I do understand that, but it's more along the lines of, like, hey, ask first. Like this is a camera. Like there's been known people who do live stream like Twitch live streams.
That was what I was wondering if he's just fucking some asshole doing Twitch live streams.
And I don't know, like, but that's more along the lines of just like if you ask the person, hey, this is what I'm doing. Do you mind being on camera? Not, hey, lean forward so I can get your face on camera. It's like, no. How about you don't do that because I don't want to. It's like it's Yeah, that's a little weird. Just like, this is my camera. This is the reason I do it. You mind leaning forward because this is my kind of protocol. It's like, okay, sure, I can understand that. That's not a hard. Is literally one sentence you can just spiel out.
Definitely explain why you're recording.
Yeah, it's not. Thankfully, I can guess why, but it's still like really awkward. It's like, no, this is for me to feverishly jerk off to later. You know, it's like, like I don't want to do that, man.
I would just say like the one saving, well, not the saving grace, but the one thing is like technically there's nothing illegal about what he's doing because you're not in a place where you can expect privacy kind of thing. So,
yeah, no, we're on the public. Right. We're obviously out in public and stuff.
It's
like
a little
strange,
and I don't know that I would necessarily give that guy 5 stars or whatever.
No, plus he was a terrible driver to begin with. He was just a bad driver. He was like focusing on all the stuff he had wired up. And it's like, dude.
Oh, that makes me wonder more and more.
I'm sitting there just like, dude, just watch the road, man. Like, that's not hard. Like,
streaming to like an audience of like fucking 5 because he's really dumb.
Yeah, streaming an audience of like maybe 1 person in our chat, and we've been doing this for years.
Yeah, but we're not making anyone uncomfortable like in the backseat of our car, except for like, the people we tied up earlier.
Yeah. I mean, there's one guy in my trunk that I probably should go check on in like an hour. But besides that, I mean, I did leave out some food for him at least. You know, a little water dish. You know, like that's a generous thing, right? I mean, the last one I didn't leave out food for. Yeah, a little bit of kibble.
Oh, before we get too far off, you were talking about the lady that was just translating it. That's actually a huge problem in comedy.
Yeah.
There's a lot of French Canadian comedians who do their comedy all in French, who will just straight rip off English English-speaking comedians' work and just do it again in French.
Yeah, and the thing is like, how the heck can you deliver it like that? Because, you know, it's like when you naturally come up with jokes that are yours, like that's your shtick. Yeah. Like, I don't know, like if I thought of something funny to say, you know, I'm gonna find that hilarious. Like that's why half the time I probably ruin it by laughing partway through. You know, because I'm sitting there going like, "This is hilarious." Yeah. So,
like all the presentations that class and I came up with.
Yeah. Yep. That's just. I mean, that
if somebody else were to do those, it wouldn't be the same.
No, and it's just like I guess you could kind of try to make it sound funny if you thought it was hilarious, but. Like when they even showed like the examples of her video, like they were showing clips of her video, and it just seems like she's just reading and like just talking, but there's like, but she'll be saying stuff like jokes, like things that are funny. I'm just like, that sounds so weird. It's like I'm gonna tell you a joke right now in this tone, like I'm freaking Ben Stein with like, the most blandest voice ever. It's like. That's not hilarious, man. Like, how do you tell a joke and not sound like you're excited to tell a joke?
Just deadpan delivery of fucking joke.
Yeah,
dude.
Gotta be Ben Stein.
And that's a very like. There's
or Stephen Wright.
Yeah, that's definitely like a way. That's definitely a way to do it. Like, there's stuff you can do that deadpan that makes it hilarious.
Well, I mean, these guys, the French Canadian ones, they do the whole bit. Like, they put the energy into it, but it's just not their bit.
Yeah, and that's definitely a lot more, I guess, skilled. Which even says more for the people who are just ripping off and then just blah, 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 blah. I mean, hell, I could do that.
Yeah.
I can put myself in front of a camera and
just put out other people's videos as their own and make money off of it, too. So, like, that's a big issue that happens. A metal man would like us to know that he's very he's tall, so he's very uncomfortable in the back seat.
Oh, okay. You can lay down the back, though, man. Or we can tie you up and put you in the trunk. That also works.
I know how to make a bed.
Wow, that's very stabby. I'm sorry.
I know how to make a bed in the car, by the way.
You don't have a bed in the car?
I can make a bed in a car.
Oh, there you go.
Like an actual full-on bed.
Nice.
You got to take out 2 of the seats, though. So, unless they fold down far enough.
Does it extend like into the trunk or something?
Yeah, I would have to.
Okay.
You might need a sawzall. You might have to cut some parts out of your trunk. Reinforce it.
Sorry.
Make a hole for your feet.
Yeah.
I've watched a lot of videos of how people like live out of their vehicles because I find it fascinating.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to do it, but it's just it's a fascinating sort of group of people that just like they don't live anywhere. They just live in a vehicle traveling all over the country.
It just makes me think of the tiny house thing.
It's a little similar, except the tiny house thing is more like they stay in one place for a long time.
Yeah.
But they usually have to move fairly regularly because you can't just build one.
Okay. Let's see.
But like these people are literally like they stay in a place for like 14 days. They're like BLM camping or national parks land. Usually you can camp for free in a lot of areas, but it's like a 14-day limit.
You just hunker down and carry all your stuff with you.
I mean, if you don't have a lot of stuff.
It's very minimalist, yeah.
Very minimalist. I have a room full of stuff, but I could easily get by with like a laptop, a bed, and my clothes and food.
And a hotspot because you kind of need the internet.
Yeah. But I mean, like, how much do you really need, you know, if you think about it? I'm going to like a way to cook food. That'd be great, but I could get like plastic bags from shopping and stuff and use that for the bathroom.
Oh, so a quick segue on that one. To the place I'm moving to, I am literally 5 minutes away from you now. I'm moving to this side of town about like 5 minutes south. Getting to these are going to be a lot better.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. That's cool. And it's an actual house.
That's cool. So you're closer to me now then too, right?
What's that?
So you're closer to me now too then, yeah?
Yep. That much closer.
Fantastic.
We live so close together. We can all just hang out together all the time.
I feel like Utah's not that far from us. I mean, we could drive to Arizona, not that. I mean, it'd probably take what, like 8 hours?
God no.
Yeah, well, you're in Northern California? No, it's more than 8 hours, dude.
Yeah, no, that's at least a 12.
Yeah, 13. Closer to 12.
Like consistently driving. Like we are moving.
No, I'm curious.
Actually, yeah, I was gonna look it up.
Yeah, he's gonna look it up. So, okay, what's the guess? I'm gonna go 13 hours. What do you guys got?
What directions? Okay.
Let's see if
and
I'm
Rosa,
right. Yeah.
Oh wait.
No, it's Maine. What are you talking about, man? That's an old joke.
Not giving me directions.
Because you hit that directions button right there, and then you plug it in. God. Good job, Grandpa.
12 hours, 12 minutes.
Oh, I was real close.
Yeah, it would be like 14. It's just like between 12 to 14 hours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's an alternate route where you go up to I-40, like up to by Flagstaff, and then take I-40 over. But take an I-10. Oh no, yeah, I probably would want to go the other way and avoid LA.
Oh, airplane would be 5 hours. So.
Yeah, God, yes. You fly over everything.
All we have to do is staple some cardboard wings to the side of my station wagon.
There you go.
Yeah,
and we're good.
Get a good run at it. Yeah.
Get up on a really tall mountain.
Hustle up.
Go really fast. Off a cliff.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. Maybe one of these times I'll actually make the trip, dude. That'd be fucking interesting.
Then we could have a live podcast where we're all together.
Yeah. I think if we did that, I would honestly just set up a camera. I wouldn't make it live. Because I don't know how to broadcast from just a regular camera.
Well, you do what we're doing now. You just had it on my crotch like an like.
No, I mean, I have better cameras that would work that wouldn't work for making a video.
Oh, you can't just like port it with the USB.
For some reason, it doesn't work that way. I don't know how to make it work. I'm stupid.
You know what you need to do? YouTube that shit.
Yeah, I'd probably figure out how to make that work. But on the other side,
the way we learn everything.
I'd also want to do it from like the garage or something. Where we'd have like couches and like a round table kind of thing.
Yeah. Very.
Everybody'd be more comfortable for sure.
Let's write some sketches, dude, and do some sketch comedy if I ever make it out there, dude.
Sketch comedy.
Sketch
comedy is like really sketchy.
Yeah, sketchy. We'll even call it that. Sketchy comedy instead of sketch comedy.
All comedy is sketchy comedy when it comes down to stabbing.
Yeah. Stabbing, it's automatically sketchy.
You guys missed. So Day 12 was gone for a few minutes last one, and then you were gone. Well, no, it was the afternoon. It was the last evening one. And we had been talking about abortion clinics and how they like sell the parts and stuff.
Oh no.
And I made a joke to even the Mad Metal Man was just like, God damn. and I was telling him, I'm like, well, we can sell the parts to like pedophiles or something. And then
Jesus, dude.
it was just like, Jesus Christ.
See, this is what happens when we leave you alone for too long.
I like to think I'm the devil on the devil's shoulder.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I think, about right.
That's poetic, man. It makes a lot of sense. It honestly makes a little too much sense. That's too real. That's
a little too on the nose, dude.
Yeah. I don't know.
Oh, there was a little thing about the favorite. Oh, this is in February 2017. Whoops.
Oh, it's ancient.
Let's see.
Nobody was even alive back then.
Dude, I was.
What was the
not
thing about
me.
McCain being the leak for a lot of the stuff from, like the leaks on whoever from White House stuff and was pointing at McCain, and I'm like, I think they already figured out it was somebody else. So that's not only old news, but it's not even true.
Nice.
If I'm not mistaken, didn't they find out it was some dude in the FBI or something? And they'd been trying to fucking track the leaks down, and he was like, "Oh, that's awful. We should really find that guy." On several occasions, and essentially, obstruction of justice. Like he might face criminal charges now.
It's like we're looking for this guy. He went that away.
Yeah, very much so. Very much like that.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Yeah. Start doing that. They do in the inner city where they wear two shirts. So when they run, as soon as they go around a corner, they rip the shirt off, and now they're wearing a different colored shirt.
Is that why people wear two fucking colored shirts? I've wondered for the longest time because it'd be like summer, and fucking you see these people in the fucking cops, and it's like super hot out. Everybody's sweating their balls off, and that motherfucker be wearing two shirts.
Yeah, that's why they do it. Like they'll fucking if they're running from the cops, as soon as they turn around a corner. Like they're wearing a blue shirt and they fucking rip that off and they got a fucking brown shirt or a red shirt or whatever underneath.
Some other color shirt, yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty genius.
That's pretty good, dude.
I would never have thought of that. And realistically, it is more insulation. I might keep you a little cooler.
Oh, it just broil me.
Right.
Somehow
I don't think that's their first concern.
The outer shirt is a reflective layer. And if your inner shirt was like a moisture wicking shirt, I'm sure this is not what they're doing, but if you had a moisture wicking shirt as your inner shirt, it was tight to your skin, pulling off any sort of like sweat and evaporating it quicker.
Yeah.
And you had a reflective like outer layer, like white or yellow or really light blue.
I am a reflective outer layer.
It would actually keep you a little cooler than just wearing one shirt.
Does anyone else think Stabby's putting too much thought into this?
I don't think he's putting enough thought into this.
Yeah. Okay, you guys really want to know where that came from?
Oh,
my train of thought.
Oh dear. Where's the station?
About how you insulate like vans to live in them.
God damn it. Straight back to the van. And we're back to the van.
No, that was it. That's as far as I wanted to go.
Oh dear God. Here. Okay. If we're talking about things that we're apparently fascinated on right now, the thing I'm currently fascinated with is ultra marathons. Still fascinated with it. I don't even know if I talk
stuff, right?
Not even the mutter thing.
Like more than that?
It's so. And I might have talked about this last time. I don't know. I can't remember what I talked about last time I was here.
I don't think it was ultra marathons.
Okay, if it's not that, then great. So a marathon is 26 miles.
Yeah.
I think 26 point something miles.
26.2, I think.
Yes, maybe. Anyways, anything beyond that is considered an ultra marathon.
Oh, okay. So it's just like a really fucking long marathon.
So you see marathons that are 60 miles. You see marathons that are 100 miles. You see marathons that are beyond that, where it's just ridiculous. So you're doing this for like days.
Yeah.
But the cream of the crop will finish a ultra marathon in like 25 hours, 30 hours.
No, when you do an ultra marathon, is there a break?
You
go for like 12 hours and then everybody fucking stops.
You stop when you feel like you have aid stations along the way, and so you stop when you kind of feel like you need to stop.
Do people sleep or do they just fucking go?
You really shouldn't when you do stuff like this. Like because you really can't for a long time.
Okay.
Because each station kind of closes off after a certain point to like push the race along. And so if you make a great headway,
you're trying to win, but if you're just trying to finish,
well, even with that, there's like a cutoff time, like a certain hour the station closes off, and if you don't make it to the next one in time for that one to close off, then you're out.
Oh man!
So it's like you do have to kind of keep a decent pace.
Now, if I bring a wagon, can I pull one guy for like 6 hours and then he pulls me for 6 and turns sleeping?
I don't think.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I asked the
anything in the rules.
It's just a fucking. You're just gonna revert this back to the van, aren't you?
No, it's an ultra joke.
And a wagon had wheels. Joke? You know what else has wheels?
An ultra joke. Okay. Oh god, it was an ultra joke.
That was fucking awful.
Oh god, that hurts. Oh
man.
Oh.
I feel so much better now.
That's bad. Oh lordy. Oh man. But the thing is, apparently it's this huge thing. This is like all over the world, and people are fascinated with doing these things and just pushing themselves to unreal limits.
Crazy, man. You should absolutely do that.
Well, it was funny thing is that my roommate showed me one. It was a YouTuber who actually does these things.
Does ultramarathons?
Does ultramarathons.
All right.
And he records a lot of the stuff and records a lot of the stories of people, who do these things and kind of live that life. And it's really good quality, actually. So it's like, I've been doing just nothing but shout outs to different YouTubers.
Presumably it's not like a 25-hour video though, right?
No, it's like I think the longest ones are like 50 minutes. Like
you say 50 or 15?
50. Some of the longest videos are about an hour.
No, that's what I would expect. 15 minutes, I was like, holy fuck, that's really short.
There's some that are
there's
some that are like 20 minutes long that are like really neat concepts and stuff like that they'll highlight the bejesus out of. But a lot of his videos in particular are a lot longer. And it's really artful. It's really well done. So to hell with it. If anyone's actually interested in it, it's Billy Yang. And it's just like I watch a lot of his stuff, and I watch a lot of the other people's stuff who do that kind of stuff, do that kind of life, and
you should be working towards it, man.
Honestly, he showed, like I said, my roommate showed me one of those videos. I watched the one that's in Northern California at Tahoe.
Yeah.
And right after I watched it, I looked at him. I go, 5-year plan.
Yeah.
I'm going to spend the next 5 years just training my ass off to get
to do something like Tough Mudder stuff, dude. There's no reason not to go for this ultra marathon.
Yeah, and it's apparently I just
call you Ultra Hearth.
Ultra Hearth. Yes. Oh my god. Okay, even just for that, I'm done. I'm good just for that. Just because I want to be called Ultra Hearth once I do it. But no, that's just fascinating to be able to push yourself that far.
Yeah, I think that's pretty cool.
So cool.
Obviously, I'm not going to do it.
No.
Although I've stored up enough calories for it.
We have enough calories for several ultra marathoners.
I'll just give people straws.
Ew. So there you go. I've had my spiel.
It puts the suck in liposuction. I'm so sorry. Now I'm just picturing like a steampunk rig with like fucking like tubes inserted and like going out, and then like other tubes inserted into them, and you just see like
it's a series of tubes,
and it's all like pumping the calories away, pumping the fat to them to burn.
That's gross.
It's just running as a big organism. It's kind of like a horror steampunk movie, by the way. It's not like, like cheerful, happy.
This is rather disturbing.
I was looking up, dude. Have you ever seen the ultra triathlons?
God, I can only imagine how ridiculous those are.
Dude, yeah. Every ultra triathlon must involve more than 2.4 miles of swimming, 112 miles of cycling, and a full marathon. So at least the 26.2.
They must have some really fucking big deals about safety with the swimming.
Oh yeah, that's
like doing that kind of crazy shit. Like somebody's gonna lock up.
Yeah.
Right. I think they usually do the swimming first for that reason.
Yeah.
That would make sense, yeah.
You usually try to get that part out. Or you make it like a little bit of running.
Right.
Or like short swimming things, like 100 yards here, 100 yards there.
Yeah. That too.
So that you have enough, it's short enough distance that it's easy to cover.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. That'd be like crazy pants.
Another part that fascinates me about this kind of stuff is that it's just like, it's such a full understanding of like the efficiency that makes your body run. Because you see a lot of just like, oh, I need this amount of food, this amount of water, like, and this pace I have to the way I move my body. You know, like you analyze the course, like, okay, I need this for this. It's like understanding and optimizing yourself
that's the
well.
kind of thing where, like, shaving your head or your body hair off really can make a difference over the whole fucking stint of the race.
Yeah. So it's just like, or it's like certain types of shoes, certain, you know, like
how you hold your hands.
Yeah. So it's just like, it's understanding, like, it's very nitty gritty when you really want to get into it. But it's just like, wow, how do you...
You kind of have to optimize every single thing, every single movement, essentially.
Yeah. It's because it's like, what can give me that one extra mile?
Wear like a nose guard that comes to a point.
Wind resistance.
So it's not hitting your nose and get like a rounded off, you know, because everybody's got a rounded nose tip.
Yeah, maybe those from the plague days, you know, like the Black Plague.
No, get a pyramid head costume, dude.
Pyramid head.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, pyramid head costume.
Like, just imagine some guy in a pyramid head costume just jogging down a trail.
The less wind resistance fuckers.
Yeah.
Just yelling at everybody as he goes by. It's really aerodynamic.
Aerodynamic.
Oh, goddamn.
Just think about that, because some of this stuff is done like super early and like super late at night or super early in the morning. You start, and so it's like morning fog, really thick, and you see the guy wearing the freaking pyramid head just like running out of the fog, just like.
It's motivation for the rest of it.
Fucking epic, dude.
I don't think it would make anybody run faster.
Right. I see that. I'm entering that marathon unofficially, and I'm staying ahead of that crazy fucker.
It's like, I don't know who he is, but man, he won.
There was
he wasn't even in the race, but
yeah, he's just flying.
What was it called? It was like a show where they would prank people and scare them. With like these really
was it the one hosted by Shannon Doherty?
I don't
Scare
think
Tactics?
It was her.
Scare Tactics?
Scare Tactics, yeah, sounds right. Maybe she hosted some of it, but like I always remember it being hosted by a dude, but maybe she hosted like a couple seasons.
Yeah, they had different ones. Yeah, let me see if that's the. Yeah,
but
she hosted, I think, maybe a season or something.
Like, I watched one where they had to call it off almost immediately. It was like a guy, like a big guy, a little bit of a belly on him, but big.
Yeah.
And they were doing something where, like, they had the female actress who was being attacked by somebody else, and then the guy was going to go after him. But before the guy could fully, like, go after the female actress, this dude just charged him and fucking threw him across the room and was going to go after him again. And they were like, no, stop, it's a prank. Because it was like they didn't expect this dude to be like, it's fucking on immediately.
Yeah. It's like, well, you gotta anticipate, like, some.
Well, I'm sure they anticipate that happening, but they did not think it was gonna happen with that dude.
It was like just instant. He just fucking went after him. Like, you think it'd take at least a few seconds.
He went into like full on protection mode, like immediately.
Yeah.
I gotta protect this lady. And it was again, and at one point, fucking what's her name? Vanessa Carlton, the lady that sings her big song was the 1,000 Miles.
Yeah.
And not the Proclaimers one. That was 500 miles.
But just to be the man who walked 1,000 miles to
wind up at your door.
At your door.
At your door, yeah.
Oh, does he wind up at it, or does he fall at it?
Oh no, it would probably be wind up. Yeah.
If you walked that far, though, you might just fall at somebody's door. You're in a heap, just like, I'm here.
Well, I mean, her parents went home, so yeah, you were gonna make it.
He was like on the porch, And finally, she opens the door, and you're just like,
just
I made it.
You know?
You just start throwing out. It's like, well, I walked 1,000 miles. How the hell do you think I'm going to feel?
Right.
Damn near paralyzed by this point. Jesus.
I took the hell out of my dick. I was hard the whole way.
Yeah. You think you'd wait to get inside before you fall down, but no.
Nope.
Fall
Knock the door with his face.
Yeah, it is. It is. I looked it up, dude. It is to fall down at your door.
Oh, to fall down at your door. I guess walking 1,000 miles would probably do that to you, though. So, yeah. You're right.
One of the
I mean, get to the couch. Like, get to a sofa first and then fall down.
Well, like, if you're falling over, you're probably just like, I need to knock. Lost feeling and everything.
Oh, man. Oh, the scare tactics thing. But there was one where it was zombies.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I cannot imagine
how
they found the one guy who just runs away.
Wow.
Because what they did was they made it look like there were zombies coming at this dude in a warehouse.
Yeah.
And then they killed the lights for the most part.
Ooh, that would be pretty good.
And I'm thinking, like, I don't know about anybody else, but me, I'm going fucking berserk at that point. Like, I'm going fucking nuts because it's just, I'd be crazy.
Just going ham on somebody.
I pick up the nearest point object and just fucking fight for my life, man.
Just swing away, man. Swing away.
Because this dude watched like the zombies kill other people.
Yeah.
So at that point, I'd be beyond the like, oh, I don't want to hurt anybody. Like, I don't know what's going on here. It's none of my business. And then the lights start to go out. I'd be like, anybody I fucking come anywhere near me is dead.
They're getting it right to the back of the fucking skull, dude.
I just start beating them with each other. You know, pick up the little ones and hit the big ones with it.
Just if you remember this, Chuck Berry, my little zombie friend from Minecraft.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I had a little zombie friend in Minecraft. I named him Chuck Berry.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
That was the original series. Like we had several Minecraft series that we tried. But it was like the OG, like first time even thinking about doing this kind of thing. I don't think we were even Untitled Studios at that point. I think we were just going off of your channel, maybe.
I think I tried to save all those, I think, but I'm not sure what happened. I think they got corrupted or some shit.
Probably. It's yield Minecraft stuff, of like years ago, so.
But I don't know, the Vanessa Carlton was great. Like, they had her running away from some obsessed fan who was like an axe murderer.
Yeah.
And this dude tried to fend off the fucking axe guy with a fucking like halogen lamp, one of those really tall lamps.
Yeah.
Like the ones that are like 6.5 foot, 7 foot tall lamps. Like, this dude straight up was like gonna fucking fight this axe dude with a lamp.
It's like, I'll fuck you up. Bink.
Bink. Oh, like he went after the dude. He was like, I'm going. He was going in.
Yeah.
Because this dude was like cutting his way through the door, and the guy just started fucking like hitting the axe, trying to get the axe and shit.
Damn.
Wow. Like, fuck yeah, dude.
You gotta fight him. Like, what are you gonna do? You fall over, you get axed. That's about the end of it. Or you're gonna smack somebody up the side of the head with the lamp.
Yeah. But and then he had the fucking Vanessa Carlton in his house to protect. He was like a huge Vanessa Carlton fan.
Yeah. Which
was creepy in and of itself, because at the time I think she was still like 14 and like or 16 or something, and this guy was like 30 something. But I think he was like a gay dude.
Yeah. He also, if he's like had kids or something, it's like, oh, my daughter's a fan of yours.
No, I think this was like a gay dude who was just really big into Vanessa Carlton.
Oh, okay, that works too.
He had that kind of like that lift.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's Vanessa. I can't believe it.
Oh my god, it's Vanessa Carlton.
Wow, we are terrible people. It's not even like
fucking gay guy with this.
It's like, I'm just gonna stereotype the hell out of the situation right now. That's nice. Go me.
We're gonna stereotype the hell out of the situation. It's fucking accurate half the time.
There's a reason the stereotypes exist.
Specifically.
Yeah,
it's like every
that's
fucking
true.
TV gay dude is a swishy fucking stereotype. It's not our fault. We're talking about people on TV, man. That's fucking what they are.
Yeah, it's just like
Hollywood does it.
Hollywood does it.
I'm fucking talking to a fucking list, right? Yeah.
Hollywood does it.
Hollywood does that. Fuck me, God damn it.
Enunciate.
Yeah, really.
You got
Channel 4. Yeah, I just lost the ability to talk like a fucking stroke victim. Just start, like, my mouth will droop on one side from now on.
Don't worry, your powers of Twitter will always be there.
So Channel 4, I think, in this case, is a British channel. It's going to start a new gender fluidity, new reality show called Genderquake.
Oh, God.
What?
It's going to be a reality show about transgender people.
Interesting.
Honestly, it was so fucking obnoxious.
That lineup just looks pretty typical of just like people, how people dress in this era.
You have a few people like this guy. That guy kind of looks a little hipstery douchebaggy. That guy.
Jesus, dude.
And like these three girls right here, and this girl who seem like normal, but like this one back here.
They seem normal, so that except for that one back there.
They're just like normal. They don't seem like they have that sort of the fucking uniform of the asshole. Everybody fucking knows it. There's certain uniforms that people wear. I mean, it's regular street clothes, but it's a uniform essentially.
Yeah.
That just announces like that's a fucking cunt. You look at this guy over here on the right. You look at the way he's standing in his fucking outfit and his fucking hair, and you look at him and you don't think that's a fucking cunt. You honestly don't do that.
You see that guy, you're going to avoid making eye contact. You do not want to have a conversation with that guy.
At the coffee shop.
You're like,
it's going to be obnoxious.
I love it. You're just like, no, fuck that guy. I don't care if I know who he is. Fuck that guy. This stupid face. It's like, I love it.
Shit right here, right? Like that just says, I will blow you in a fucking bathroom.
God damn, dude.
That's what that uniform is.
Jesus.
An adult wearing a Catholic schoolgirl fucking skirt with a jean jacket and thigh-high stockings
Good Lord.
is going to give you head in the fucking bathroom, all right? Like, if it was an actual like high school aged Catholic schoolgirl, which maybe that is, I don't know. I have no fucking clue what I'm talking about, so I'm completely wrong. I'm assuming
you
from
heard
like the tattoo that's a fucking adult dressing like a high school girl. So I just assume that that's like the fucking like by the dumpster at the back of the bar, banging kind of girl. It's just what you get. Or like,
I love how you sit there like, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I'm gonna rag on all of these people.
This guy in the back with the blue shirt, the fucking scarf, and this thing, like that guy's gonna tell you all about his fucking Warhammer 40K collection, right?
Dude, do everybody, man. Come on, you got to do everybody.
Okay, let's see. I think I'm gonna get better than that. Right.
Yeah, that's true. You probably should quit while you're ahead because that was fucking perfect.
Fucking steroids back there.
Oh, fuck no.
Shirts and jeans like that guy's gonna talk about fucking weightlifting. He's gonna be like 290 cents.
Fuck his Warhammer 40.
This guy's going to talk to you about atheism and fucking want to listen to Judas Priest with you. With the fucking glasses and some sort of weird fucking houndstooth shirt.
You're good, man. You should have ended with Warhammer 40K.
That guy in the middle, the one in the very back row in the middle, the roided out guy.
Yeah.
I think his favorite letters are G, H, and B. I don't know why. I just have a feeling.
Oh, Jesus. Oh. That's how you roast a cast of people.
This chick with the leather jacket, the plaid, and the split jeans, she's going to talk to you all about what diet she's on.
Paleo, man.
It's all going to be about her diet. The yellow shirt with the black jacket and the blue jeans. She is going to tell you about every fucking ex-boyfriend she's ever had at length for fucking hours. And you will not be able to change the subject.
Somehow respect to it.
To get redirected back to her ex-boyfriends, dude.
Yeah, that one's just the fucking one next to her with the black hair. That one's just going to take all your fucking money. This one, the one on the end, actually, like the black girl on the end, actually seems like she might be kind of cool. Honestly, I don't think I have anything to roast on that.
There you go.
She seems like she might be like you might have a nice conversation at the checkout line, you know.
There you go. Stabby finally found his one character that he's not going to roast the shit out of.
Be fucking fanatic in the back here with the blonde hair girl behind the high school chick. Like she's probably dealing with a lot of depression, and she's gonna like talk about all the time she was suicidal.
You got. I was just gonna say I'll give my one. You got Seal standing next to her in the back. Seal to the right.
I was gonna go Hootie and the Blowfish. Seal
really, Hootie and the Blowfish.
He seems a little more upbeat than Seal.
I feel like if he had like he probably has like a really nice six pack, and it's like the Michael Jackson of like always having your shirt open.
He might be a country boy too.
I don't know.
He might start like ripping out some like Travis Tritt or something.
Pretty good.
You know, karaoke. He belts out a good like she thinks my tractor's sexy.
I would watch just for that, just waiting for that moment to happen.
I don't know. Going back to the chick to the left that you were talking about, the back left. I don't know. She looks like that mom that wants to be best buddies with their fucking daughter, and wants to like party with her daughter.
Yeah, she fucking does.
One blow dryer away.
Wants to hang out with high school kids, even though she's way older.
It's like one blow dryer away from having Farrah hair.
Right.
Please get that reference.
Blow dryer away from having Farrah Fawcett hair.
Yeah, exactly.
One more martini away from a fucking jail sentence.
Oh, Jesus.
Sorry, I had to think a little darker.
Yeah, I tried to be nice about it, but I can't. Apparently, that's just not the standard here.
That chick will totally buy you beer if you're underage.
Yeah, if you're underage, she's gonna buy you all the fucking beer, but you have to hang out with her and drink it, which is the downside.
Right.
We're equal opportunity roasting here.
I don't even care about the gender part of it. I'm just fucking these motherfuckers. Oh man, I wasn't even planning on roasting it. That just happened naturally. I'm such a bad fucking person.
I was spent after Warhammer.
Warhammer.
I needed
so fucking
after that. It's just like give me a cigarette. I'm good, man.
You just shot his comedy load, dude. You need a cigarette.
Oh god, and then this is I think the point at which we have nobody else watching, unfortunately. I think one time we actually did something really funny.
Oh well, hopefully in the back end of it we can get some.
Well, fucking, you heard that. Let's see, because we're going down dark paths. Trump was talking about potentially shutting down the borders.
Oh wow!
As like a way to start getting back on top of the immigration thing. So we have all the sanctuary cities and shit going on. He's like, we might just have to fucking close the doors and figure this shit out. Be like, all right, we're gonna fucking stop the immigration, and we're all going to work this shit out before everything starts up again. Which, I don't know, man. Like, on the one side, it sucks because there's a lot of people who've genuinely done the work.
Yeah.
And have, like, followed all the rules that want in. That's totally reasonable. But on the other hand, it's like, we do have kind of, like, millions of people coming into the country that shouldn't be here.
I don't know. That's just like...
I got nothing.
Yeah, it's definitely extreme, but I mean,
that's the difference to me. It's like you follow the law, you come in here legally. There's tons of different ways to do it. There's ways to do it if you need asylum. There's ways to do it if you just want to immigrate for a better job, and that's the stuff we should encourage. But we really should put a stop to people just randomly crossing the border all the time. Like, that's kind of a bad thing.
No, all they have to do is make it to this city, and they're going to be fine.
It's
it's a big part of the what is that one game?
How much money is going to have to go into constantly patrolling borders and stuff like that?
I think that's a fair point for the wall, though.
Yeah. Oh god, no.
Putting up a wall would make a huge dent in it, and it would be a one-time expense as opposed to like.
Yeah, it's a huge expense. That's honestly still pretty stupid. How do you?
I don't agree.
And because then you're gonna have to constantly guard that wall.
But that's the point of putting the wall up is you don't have to constantly guard the wall. You have monitoring cameras and stuff.
But you don't think people aren't going to be able to find ways to get over it?
You wouldn't need more people to. No, it's not. Like you don't build like just a fucking. It's not a fucking corrugated fence in your backyard.
Yeah, it's not a chain link fence, dude.
No, I'm still saying that this is a lot of land we're talking about.
And then you're talking. We already have a lot of border guards.
I know, but I'm saying like that's a lot of land to cover.
Cameras and stuff.
It's a lot.
You can use cameras to look and then respond when you see the people, as opposed to like having to constantly patrol back and forth.
Yeah, I'm still saying that's a lot of land.
Yeah. Oh no, it is.
That's a lot.
One of the walls I saw, for instance, had a railway in it. So picture like a giant X of steel beams that's like 30 foot tall, and then in the top of the X is nestled a little railway, so people can actually use that to get back and forth, fix the wall, maintain equipment, and respond to people trying to cross.
I don't think it's a good way to pursue it. I don't know if there is a good way, but it just doesn't.
Well, we got to do something. Like that's the thing, is what we're doing now isn't working.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's genuinely like, on average, it's costing something like $5,000 a year per household in California. Like that's how much money we're losing because of the issue. Essentially, that it's costing everybody right now. So if there's a way to take and lower that cost over time, that would be a good thing.
Yeah, that's the other thing that blows my mind, is you can literally get into the country illegally and the next day apply for and get benefits.
Yeah, they give welfare to people who are illegal aliens in California and Arizona. Did you know that?
I'm surprised you can.
That wouldn't be possible.
Like you'd imagine you have to identify like the whole like citizenship thing.
No, that's one of the issues, like the sanctuary stuff.
Then that seems like a bigger hole to fill, or
but that's why they're talking about like, let's shut it all down, and it's not just build the wall, but it's like deal with the sanctuary.
But even just have your welfare part just be like, hey, we have numbers that identify ourselves as citizens. That's
no. The welfare is voluntarily, like by law, given to people who are illegal aliens.
But no, I'm saying like to be able to get welfare, you should be able to like identify yourself as a citizen at least.
But they don't have to. We actually actively give it to illegal aliens on purpose. Yeah.
You're right, though. We absolutely should.
Like to me, that seems like a bigger hiccup than anything else. Like,
yeah, like that's the
like instead
that needs to get
that seems like a bigger focus. It's like, okay, well, we should be able to able to identify ourselves first, and then like that seems like a huge problem.
Yeah, if we cut all that out, we can afford to build the wall.
Yeah,
we're actively trying to do it, which is the issue for me, at least as far as that law goes. That's pretty fucking insane.
Because I understand people needing assistance. Like I understand.
Yeah, of course. I've had
and maybe maybe to just try to find if it's somebody who isn't a citizen, like to be able to, if they really need that kind of assistance.
Yeah,
like to try to like work it a certain way, like differently, not just be like, oh, well, here you go. It's just like, I don't know, trying to fine tune that system a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, like worst case scenario, you would have needed potentially like workman's comp or disability. Potentially if like you had to take all that time off of work, like 8 weeks.
Yeah,
you would have been able to claim like workers' comp and stuff like that. I think you would have had to claim disability because it wasn't an injury on the job.
No.
But nonetheless, like it's nice to have those safety nets.
It's interesting though. But I still think the wall's stupid, so
no, I don't necessarily think it needs to be just a wall, but putting up some sort of fence or wall, because there are a lot of places where it's not there, would at least be a small deterrent. And really financially it's not impossible. It's not as expensive as you would think.
I just think we're already putting money
to reinforce with digital surveillance. That's what really needs to happen. And a wall is just an easy way to make sure that there's digital surveillance across the whole.
Yeah. That stuff.
You can have like thermal cameras and all that kind of shit put in somewhere.
That stuff isn't cheap, man. Like to be able to upkeep those servers to hold everything, like that kind of stuff. Like,
oh yeah, no, I know it's not
that kind of power. Get power way out in the sticks.
When you consider that ultimately we're losing like billions of dollars of money for each year that this is going on, if you can stem the flow that way, eventually it pays for itself.
And pay probably millions of dollars to have a hopeful deterrent.
Yeah. Well, I mean, otherwise, what do you do? Nothing. Let's just not do it and not worry. I mean, you got to try something. And I don't want them doing like the fucking National Guard across the border like they're doing in California right now. I think that's kind of fucking insane and way more costly in the long run. I mean, if we're fucking deploying the military along the whole southern border.
Oh, God damn it. No. Doing that. Hit the headphone thing again.
I just think that, something is better than not doing anything. The wall may not necessarily be the best plan, but it's a plan, and there isn't any other options that anybody's even discussing right now.
I don't know. The whole giving away the welfare thing without identifying yourself as a citizen is kind of a daunting thing that you probably should work on.
No, they're identifying themselves as illegal aliens and then receiving welfare.
Yeah, and getting it anyway.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, to redesign that system might be something that's like
part of it. That things like that would help.
Yeah.
Sure. But the other thing is it MS-13? There's a gang in Mexico right now because there's like the old cartels are fighting against this new gang. And I forget what the name of the gang is, but it is like fucking leagues above like the Crips and the Bloods as far as like how dangerous and fucking many people they kill. And that's a big problem. Is like a lot of the people from that gang are getting across with the regular like people that just want to find a job kind of thing. And so there's a lot of issues with that stuff that just really aren't being covered by the media, but it's a big deal in the southern states. That's why somebody like Joseph Arpaio was so well liked in Arizona by the people. Because they were like, yeah, this dude is fucking crazy over the top against illegal immigration, but he's cutting down on this fucking gang violence that people are dying in these fucking border towns. Whether they're citizens or not, you don't want murder going on. But yeah, like that whole thing is interesting. I don't think they're going to shut the border. I think that's just like let's get people stirred up over nothing.
It's what's depressing more is just like how hard people are working on dividing us, and so many people are just taking the bait.
Well, yeah, that's true.
It's just like it's so much like active trying to like I was watching a video and you get like ads in the beginning. And sometimes it's just like like a show or something that's going on. Cool. This was some guy in a suit just standing there talking to the camera, and pretty much just like saying like the most over to the top like how bad leftist extremism is, and like just pushing all those like hot button. They're bad because of this and this and this. Just pretty much just ragging on the left side. I was like, and this is an ad that is on YouTube.
Well, there was the campaign ads that was
but it's just like
where they were showing if this guy wins, this right-wing guy wins, he's gonna have fucking minority kids hunted down in trucks. Like he's gonna have trucks hunting down minority kids to get them.
And it's just like, and the thing
is, I mean, it's
is,
on both sides. It's so fucking insane.
Yeah, and
the extent to how far it goes.
And the thing is, it's like when it's an ad like that, I think that's a little wrong.
Yeah.
Like under that circumstance, like I can understand, it's like people, you want to get, I guess people just want to do that, but it's like to have a service who's supposed to be neutral, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like you could easily just trade that ad out for, I don't know, Nike, like anything else, show that's coming up. Like, why does it have to be?
That's a big thing right now that Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, they're all facing as an issue.
Yeah, it's just like you're this hardcore political one way or the other, where it's just like, or even just like demonstrating both sides of the extreme. I mean, where it's just like this like ridiculous over the top stuff of like I know there's probably a lot of stuff that I don't agree with on one side of the political board.
Well, I think people should be able to say whatever they want as far as politics go,
but as an ad,
within reason, and it has to be like somewhat. There has to be some level of accuracy that they're held to.
Because I
don't know that it's necessarily the government. I think it's up to us as people to like be the ones that are monitoring it, and I think that's where the breakdown is.
Yeah.
I don't think it's necessarily YouTube's job.
I just think it's like,
you know what I mean? Like, because I don't want them deciding which side gets to have the voice.
I just think it's when it's so blatantly extreme, either side. Like when it's just so poking at the blatantly extreme. Like, if I push all these hot buttons, I'm gonna piss off people because that's what I want. It's like, and YouTube's like, hey, as long as you give me money for it, sure, I'll put it up there.
Well,
like,
what I'm saying is that's why it comes down to people.
Yeah.
Saying like, hey, that's too far.
Yeah,
but it needs to be more universal of us, and not being so like, well, but it was my side.
I feel like I shouldn't have to bring that up, though. It's like one of those things where it's like, do I really have to say it?
Well, so the thing that's going on again with Congress and all these social media platforms is, as long as they're allowing anybody to say whatever they want, they enjoy certain protections under the law, such as not being responsible for what people are saying. It's part of how the First Amendment works and is applied in that kind of situation. It's because what they're doing is providing a public platform. Yes, they're monetizing. Yes, they're making money off of it. But they're not editing the content, so they're not held to the same standard as, say, like a news station.
Are you talking about the content that would be on something like
advertising that? And the other content. They're taking whoever's going to pay for the ads is paying for the ads. Like it's a free market kind of thing.
Okay.
But if what they're doing, and which is in a lot of cases what they're doing, is shutting down specific political opinions that they don't agree with, then they become no longer protected by that First Amendment stuff. So, and part of the reason is we don't want some big corporation or the government to control who gets to talk about what in politics and society and culture in general. So honestly, I think it really does come down to the responsibility of everyone as a whole to step up and be like, you know what? Y'all motherfuckers at these extremes are out your minds, and you're not the fucking ones in control of the discourse anymore.
Yeah.
Like, you can still talk all you want, say all your crazy shit, but we're going to stop, like, boycotting this business or writing all these fucking letters because somebody said some shit that we don't agree with that was, you know, somewhat of, you know, offensive because of my political feelings on whichever side. I mean, it's not about, you know, right or left wing.
Yeah.
I just don't want fucking YouTube deciding who gets to have a commercial or say something.
Yeah.
That's a little concerning.
Yeah. What's too much for me is it's like, wow, they got money. Just because they got money for it, they're okay with, like, having this get crammed down my face. You know, it's like, and I hate that. I hate it comes to the point of having to me like slap their hand, going like a small child going like, no, don't do that. You know, like, and constantly having because constantly having to do it because I doubt it's going to stop here.
And say you stop that.
Well, I'm saying it's because it's off of their account, like off of their website or.
Yes, no, I understand what you're saying. Yeah. What I'm saying would be more effective if people are just like, oh well, we're not going to react to that because it's nonsense.
Yeah.
And so that it just doesn't go anywhere is more effective than everybody getting up in arms over every little thing that's offensive. Even if it's like extremely offensive. Like if they had a fucking Klan commercial on there.
Yeah.
You know, or like some commercial where they're like, I mean, what is it? The University of Texas decided to treat masculinity as a mental disorder. You know?
Yeah, this is just, every once in a while you just come across something and you're like, wow. Like someone, I'm waiting for the shtick afterwards. Like, see, that was a thing.
No, dude, doesn't that sound like something that would be an Onion article instead of fucking reality?
Like, when Onion articles become reality, that's just.
No, dude, it's worse than that. Onion articles can't match how crazy reality is getting. That's what's fucked up.
Yeah, that's what's making me worried.
Yeah.
There we go. So you guys were talking about like things that should be an Onion article. So there was this big push by all these different groups of people.
I got something after this
to say if you're a Trump supporter or a conservative, you shouldn't celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
Because just because you want like a border means you must hate everybody on the other side of it, as opposed to being like, no, I just want a fucking border.
Yeah, it'd be nice if our border operated the way it does everywhere else.
But yeah, it's just like it's pretty fucking funny. I thought it was funny. It's like we're gonna fucking be like, you can't support Trump and Cinco de Mayo. No Cinco de Mayo for you.
Revoke your Cinco de Mayo card.
I just thought that was going to be so absurd.
How dare you drink Corona?
Yeah, it was
Except for a Corona with lime is actually kind of tasty.
I know they had alternative ways to celebrate Cinco de Mayo.
No Dos Equis for you.
And you
Dos Equis.
learn about the history of Cinco de Mayo and how it became part of the U.S. popular culture. It's funny because Cinco de Mayo is kind of like what's that fucking one? The Irish one.
The plunge
St.
of
Patrick's Day.
The plunge of.
It's just a chance to, instead of drinking Irish beer, it's fucking a chance to drink fucking Mexican beer. For most people.
Or the wonderful tongue-in-cheek kind of joke is the plunge of a tub of lard. Cinco de Mayo.
Oh, Cinco de
Hey.
All right. What do you got that's today?
Well, it's something that's very similar to this. So it was, I think, it was something that happened this week. So since it's prom season for a lot of schools,
it's a fucking Asian dress.
This is the Asian dress one where it's this girl who was wearing very traditional dress and taking pictures of it, and but she's a white girl and absolutely got blasted on Twitter for it, and everyone's just kind of sitting there going, "What the hell?" And so obviously,
you know who I guarantee she didn't get blasted by? People from Asian countries.
That's the thing.
Right.
That's actually the thing I was about to go to. So, because I got this off of Philip DeFranco, of course, because he's my he's my kind of go-to week-to-week news thing, because I need it, and apparently my attention span doesn't go past 15 minutes. So I need something nice and measured down.
Dude, I can't always finish fucking songs in VR chat karaoke because I get bored with them halfway through. You kidding me?
That's about right. So anyways, so there was an end result. There was kind of like a, I guess, continuation to this. I forget what organization in China somehow caught wind of this and pretty much was like, yeah, no, this is really more of appreciation for our culture because we love it when people share what we do. And, obviously what it looks like is that she's not sitting there going wearing the dress and slamming her eyes and bowing it obsessively or something like that.
Like fucking Charlie Chan.
Yeah, it's not something stupid over the top. It's just she appreciated the dress. It's very pretty. It's that's the whole point of it. Is it's supposed to be just this very elegant. It's this elegance that's about it, and they're no, it's just.
Yeah,
there's a difference. Just
Chinese,
because,
there's nothing mocking about what she did. She's not mocking the fucking culture. Again, it's like you said, appreciation of it, dude.
You can't appreciate. You can be a different culture or a different ethnicity, and you can still appreciate what a culture is. It's anyone because that means there's several YouTubers I know that have worn gi and so or the ninja outfits and stuff like that because they've actually gone to Japan and learned about this stuff. It's does that mean that they're, doing cultural appropriation because they're white people wearing that kind of stuff? It's no. Does anyone who wear gi when they do martial arts doing cultural appropriation because that's not that's not traditionally American?
About dreadlocks.
Yeah, it's just because we could sit there and muddy the water so hard because that's just someone who's this looks really neat or this is something that's. I really liked this. It's I understand the whole Halloween thing is definitely stepping on a lot of toes, but
fuck that noise, man.
But it's
whatever you want in Halloween.
When it's something like this where it's just no, it's a pretty dress.
I think
no more jazz dancing for white people. How's that?
Rational is being offended by that.
Yeah. And
if you want to dress like a drunken Irishman on Halloween, you're not going to fucking offend me.
It just comes down to for. Obviously, people are going to have their opinions on this, but for me personally, I don't think it is. Of what I know of this situation, what I've seen, it doesn't look that way, and you can't appreciate somebody's culture. Obviously, if you go through the right way of doing it.
I knew whatever country, whatever specific Asian country that style of dress was from, wouldn't give a shit because one of the things that's sort of a general rule amongst Asian cultures is they're very proud of their culture. And they very much want you to be interested in sharing and learn about it and share it and stuff like that. That they're very much like that.
Yeah,
it's a general fucking rule, especially with China and Japan. that's like, no, they think their culture is fucking way superior.
As long as you have respect for that culture and show it, like actually show appreciation. It's like just because you wear it doesn't mean you're already mocking it. Like, that's the one thing that fascinates me, because it seems like a lot of like there's enough times. It's like it may not be a lot, maybe a little, but there's enough that's like it's considered, as long as you wear it, you're mocking it.
Yeah. Well, it's people being outraged on other people's behalf, even though those other people aren't fucking offended. Yeah. You know, the people that they're being offended for don't give a shit.
Because there's probably not going to be able to watch Asian porn anymore because I like me some Asian porn.
You know? Is that appreciation?
It seems like the girls
I had to dip that way.
Would be happy that it's being watched because they're making money off of it. So you know.
It's very artful, okay? Porn is art.
But I think the thing is, we all know that there is a rational limit. Like, I don't know. Do you know who Charlie Chan is?
Name doesn't. I don't think I've seen anything recent. But
I'll link up a picture and you'll see why I brought him up when I was talking about it. It's not like a Charlie Chan thing. Google or Bing image search.
Oh, what you gonna do? Google or Bing? Oh, is that like the whitest Asian guy you know?
Oh, this isn't the right one. I must have got it wrong. There was a white guy that played Asian guy, and he had these big buck teeth and these glasses.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
Over the top, racist like Asian. I thought it was Charlie Chan, but it must be something else.
I thought it was Charlie Chan. Are you sure?
It's not showing up on my image search. It's a totally different dude. I wonder if it's just fucking one of those things that they're trying to like never find the real fucking pictures of it because they just don't want you to see it. Like it's somehow
this never happened.
If you don't learn, like you're not. I don't know. Like why would you not want to learn about history so that you don't fucking do it again?
Yeah.
But
you learn history so you don't repeat the same mistakes. Yeah. Hopefully.
You know, it's like I learned in automotive when working on some of the new fucking hybrid kind of cars and electric cars. That there's certain colored wires that carry incredibly high direct current and you don't want to fuck with. They will just kill your ass. So you don't touch the orange wires in a hybrid car. Now, why should I have to learn that myself by cutting those wires instead of learning from other people that have already fucking done it? That's sort of the concept of learning history. To me, I mean, it's, you know, you get that benefit. And now the awkward silence begins. Let's see if I've got. Oh, now that Engelhardt stepped away for a minute, we have the racial slur database.
Racial slur database.
I thought it'd be fun to see some of the more like ridiculous ones.
Yeah.
So we got 51st stater for Canadians is a racial slur. Canada so culturally similar to the U.S. that they're practically the 51st state is essentially what that means.
Okay, that sounds like a vicious fucking burn.
539 is apparently a racial slur for Jews. Corresponds with the letters J, E, and W on a telephone.
Oh. Okay.
8 Mile is a slur against whites. When white kids try to act ghetto or black from the 2002 movie 8 Mile.
Yeah. All right. I don't know if that rises to the level of slur, but whatever.
925 for black people. It's a police code in suburban LA for a suspicious person.
Okay.
AI for Americans stands for American ignorance, as well as artificial intelligence that other Americans are stupid and ignorant. And they think they have everything and are more advanced than every other country.
Okay.
AA for black stands for African American, could also refer to AA batteries, which you use for one and throw away.
What the fuck, dude?
Abendaba is for Arabs, used in the movie Betrayed by a rural American hate group.
Okay.
And then we have ABC, which is a slur against Chinese people, American-born Chinese, an Americanized Chinese person who's not.
What are we talking about?
Dude, this is so...
database.
Jesus Christ. Can they get any ones that are actually offensive or just not just dumb?
You thought I was just going to use it as an excuse to say all sorts of horrible things. I just thought it'd be funny to look up the weird fucking shit that like people come up with to be offensive. Like, what the fuck are you talking about kind of shit? And then ABC could also be Australians. Aboriginals use it to offend white Australians. It means Aboriginal bum cleaner.
Fuck. Dude, I have to suspect that 90% of this shit is made up.
Yeah,
I would assume this is probably some sort of like really crazy SJW website where somebody everything anybody could possibly be offended by.
Dude, what if they actually like put out a call for, hey, send us all the racial slurs you know, and then like 4chan or somebody got a hold of it and said, hey, let's send in a bunch of shit that we just fucking made up.
You have ABCD for Indians, like India Indians. Means American-born confused Desi.
What the Daisy. Fuck? That is not real. That sounds like some 4chan bullshit to me, dude.
Yeah, I think the internet got a hold of this one and had a little fun.
Yeah, the same people that had the Horseman School for the Deaf win the Taylor Swift contest came up with some of this shit.
Abe Lincoln is a slur for the whites, former United States president hailing from the Caucasian sector of race. Just the way they put that was funny. Let's see. Afro-Saxon is white, young white men who act black.
Nobody has ever fucking said that.
That's not real. African for black people, combination of African and coon.
That's
all for Germans. So that one I can actually see. That might actually be one that's been used.
Yeah. Well, it was Jerry during World War II.
Aladdin. Is that a common racial slur people use against Arabic people?
1001 Nights.
I think it would be like Habib or fucking Haji.
Description though.
American for American, self-explanatory. I feel like if you called somebody an American, they'd be like, "Fuck yeah,
American."
This is just an A.
Oh dear.
We need to load more slurs, review the full list. I feel like this is something we can come back to for more later. I'm sure Engelhardt would
just pull. It's definitely a Thursday podcast kind of thing.
No, I think we'll definitely share that one next Sunday or the one after, depending on when Engelhardt is here, so we can make this a little bit more uncomfortable.
I think I'll be here for the next one, but I know in a couple weeks I have a competition. So.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. Of course.
I get to go to Fresno.
Nice, and do
dancing. It's like getting fucked by 20 guys in a single night.
So yeah, you're still screen sharing. You realize that, right?
Yeah, this was the other one I found that was so funny. What it's like to get fucked by 20 guys in a single night while your boyfriend watches. Just that picture and that headline is like.
Yeah, I think we've all been wondering that.
The only thing I wonder about that is what kind of a pussy boyfriend did she have that wasn't like, fuck you, and walked out.
Right.
I'm not going to tell somebody that they can't do something. It's none of my fucking...
maybe he's into
20 other dudes. I'd be like, I'm fucking out.
Maybe it takes her having sex with 20 other guys for him to finish when he's jerking off.
Yeah, that's true. It could be a cuck type situation.
Yeah,
it's so fucking weird. The whole thing is so creepy to me.
Yeah. Okay, so what is it? Is she doing a porn, or is she really just fucking 20 guys for the hell of it? All right, never mind.
The love and sex can be complicated, especially when you're in a relationship. It can be a recipe for disaster at times. And you're probably thinking that this is a cynical perspective, but keep an open mind. This couple visited a sex party together, thinking it might be fun. However, when her boyfriend gave her the okay to have fun, this woman did not hold back. She didn't just indulge in the other men; she lost herself completely.
Wow! Okay. So it was just a fucking wow.
She just went off the deep end and got everybody.
Oh, and then it doesn't cover any more of the article.
Right.
No, it goes on to say why it's strong. It made the relationship stronger, or it's a good thing.
Jesus, dude.
If it works for them.
Yeah, I guess, dude.
Well,
I'm sure it definitely works for her.
Right.
I don't know how well it works for the guy, but maybe.
If that's what gets him off, that's fine. And I'm sure that he would probably get off on me saying he's a fucking loser.
Right.
So,
Yeah, tell me how much of a scumbag I am.
It's like the feet fetish people. There's always the feet fetish people in any fucking YouTube video where some girl shows her feet.
Right.
For any reason. There's always somebody in the fucking comments like, oh my God, those are so sexy.
That means I should show mine and then have people vomit.
There is a foot fetish database for like celebrity feet.
We're still probably talking about pretty feet though.
Yeah, no, they're definitely talking about. Well, I don't know, man. Some foot
are into
ugly feet.
Yeah, I mean, like some people are into fucking nasty, ugly feet, dude.
Like I might be able to have take part in Saw or something like that. It'd be like the main character's evil twin brother.
Somewhere out there are people that would worship your feet.
Mm-hmm.
They would want to like fucking lick them and fucking rub them all over themselves.
So actually, I have a story about this, and we can finish it up.
The fucked up one. You got a fucking foot fetish story.
No, it's not a foot fetish story. It's very opposite of a foot fetish story.
Oh, okay.
It's a foot fetish nightmare for somebody. So this was in high school. I was lucky enough playing in the orchestra to take a trip to China.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And so it was like 100 of us.
God damn.
100 students, a handful of
kind of
people.
Rich fucking high school did you go to?
We spent an entire year and a half just like
getting the money together.
Fundraising like crazy. And
so I know there's no high school that rich in this area.
No, not even close. But no, we saved up enough money and we got to be able to go. And one thing is you can get one of the cities we were in. So I think it was Xi'an, which is a large city in the middle of the country, roughly. And so while there, we found a place that was you can get massages. Because why not? Because we're there, and it was awesome. Except for there's one part where it was supposed to be a foot massage. And I thought my feet were bad now. They were pretty bad in high school. They were still like, yeah. And this poor bastard was trying to massage my feet, like getting ready, they asked me to take off my socks, and I'm like, no. No, I'm not doing this to somebody. That's horrible. This is a punishment. I'm not paying someone to go through this traumatic experience. And so they're like, no, take off your socks. I'm like, fine, I'll do it, but don't rub my feet. I think I actually had a busted up nail by that point too, so it was also really tender. So I was like, I didn't want to do it because it would hurt. And so I finally got my socks off. The guy goes to rub my feet, and he gets down there a foot away. But he's right there. He's just about to, and you could just see him go, just shudder. He's just ugh. Oh God. And he just looks at me with the fear of God in his eyes. Oh my God, he must have seen me do this. And I'm like, it's okay. You don't have to. Really. And he tried for a little bit. I'm just cringing the entire time.
Oh man. I'm just
it's eventually he stopped, and I was like, okay, good, that was over. But that shudder was just a perfect explanation of how bad my feet were and have been. It's just it was so, I felt so bad for the guy. I found him, and I took, I think it was 21, which is 15 bucks, no, maybe not 15 bucks, but $10, and just gave it to him as a tip. It was the biggest bill I had without going too crazy with it.
Oh yeah.
But I walked up to him and I'm like, here, put his hand this. You need to be rewarded for going through that.
Wait, so what did I miss? What is there something physically wrong with your feet?
It's just really like I have.
You don't have to answer if you don't want to.
It's like extremely dry skin.
Talking about like eczema.
Kind of. Eczema is pretty much like if you had pneumonia and you said you have the cold. Yeah, like
so eczema is like not even close.
So it's like dry skin. Like eczema is just saying you have dry skin, essentially, kind of like just like if you have something. But mine are pretty bad. Like it's just like an extreme version of that, and it's something particular because it's on 3 of my limbs, but not on my right hand. And so that's a kind of like specific one, and so it's hard to deal with. And there's stuff that you can take for it, but it ruins your immune system.
Oh, wow.
And so
that seems like an awfully fucked up trade. Like,
but it's like so it's just like I haven't quite because when I first tried, I got really sick from it. Yeah. Like because obviously your immune system's toast. I just haven't come around to another segment of life that I'm not dealing with some sort of BS.
Is this like a take it once and you never have to take it again kind of thing though?
Possibly. There's a good chance of that. Okay. But it's just like having a good stint of, okay, in case I drop, I want to have like a good amount of sick time saved up. I want to be able to like not have anything important I have to go do in case I get like violently sick or something. So it's just
honestly, like that sounds like the kind of thing you have to make happen.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna have to be like, look, this is something I want enough that I'm gonna just push these other things back, save up my sick time, save up my vacation time, and make fucking happen.
And it's not something that I can. It's never been something that like will spread around or anything. I've had this. So I'm not wearing like a Michael Jackson glove whenever I touch anything.
Yeah, you're not.
But it's not infectious. But it's just something that's more. It's more of a burden to myself. Because dry skin can crack and stuff like that, and so you end up with that
like
kind of
really
pain.
Sore and kind of things.
Yeah. So it's nothing too terrible. For doing a lot of work with it, but it was worse when I was in high school.
Mice and Men thing.
Huh. Oh, the one
glove with lanolin in it. Keep your hands soft for the ladies.
Yeah. I got one. It's this one.
Yeah. Oh no, but I mean, you should really go all the way.
Yes. Have both hands be real.
No, I mean on your hand that's not.
Oh.
Just make it extra soft. So it's really
keep it soft for the ladies.
Like this baby smooth skin hand for like the ladies, and it's just like a baby's butt. It's just rubbing on them in like multiple fingertips.
Yeah. That sound is just so disturbing. I hate the fact that I could do it so well. Just the.
I feel like this is you like ramping up and trying to figure out a way to put your feet on camera for the channel.
God no.
Never. I feel like that's what you're aiming for.
No.
You're like foot fetish people. I got to find out if they like my feet.
No, I no one.
A tricky way of going about it.
I had to be
like
almost.
You could not be more wrong, buddy.
Yeah, it's like I had to almost be coerced when I was to have someone like see my feet. Like if I take every opportunity to not.
Now we just wait for like the inevitable comment of Akinaro being like, "I want to see your feet."
Yeah, no, he's not going to get it.
Akinaro will donate money.
Told.
No, the thing is
you're an adult. That's not
here. I got it. 100,000 subscribers. Yeah, I will show my feet. There you go.
You realize like that's just a challenge for me, right? Like now I'm like I've got to figure out how to do it.
Yeah. There you go, man.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Try actually promoting your channel.
A myriad of like every kind of video that gets subs like in a row.
Like, hey, if you make that happen, man, then yeah,
like
I will
video,
hold my word.
Tiny house video, video games, blogging, news commentary, movie review, comic review.
The funny thing is this is what gets you. This is what gets you working. I don't know what happened.
I'm gonna embarrass the fuck out of Engelhard.
Yeah, I will dance around with the camera at my feet. You will see nothing but it'll be as high as my halfway up my shin, and you'll only see it. I will do that for you if that ever happens in our life.
It's not going to be for me because you made a weird fucking promise on YouTube.
Hey, but you're like excited.
No, I'm just saying that's hella funny that you were like you suddenly had to talk all about your feet where there was a feet fetish conversation going on.
It just seemed It just happened to pop up in
my head. Nobody could ever like them. I just feel like you're looking for that special someone out there who's like, oh my god, those are the toes.
What's the toes?
That's true. Like, hey, try to fetishize this, motherfuckers.
Yeah.
Dude, I guarantee you, there's somebody out there who's
I don't doubt that, but I'm cool. I'm good. I'm good. I don't need that in my life.
Somebody would love to moisturize those feet.
Oh. Okay, I am so glad we're 5 minutes away from this podcast ending.
Oh, just call it now. God damn. My apologies.
That was pretty good. I like that.
Oh man. So let's see. Final thoughts. I do have an anime recommendation that I've just watched. I just started watching. If we want to end it,
what anime?
So it's called Megalobox.
Megalobox.
It's Megalo, 2 words, Megalobox, and
box.
it's
I thought you said box.
Box. So if you can tell, it's a boxing anime where it's kind of like if you took Real Steel, but made them more into things that they wear. So it's kind of like a Machina kind of boxing anime.
I don't know what Real Steel is. So
Real Steel is a movie that had Hugh Jackman in it, where it's like it was like a boxing movie, but they controlled robots and stuff like that.
Oh,
so it's like an extreme, version of Rock'em Sock'em Robots.
But it's Mecha Warrior type.
Yeah, it's very Mecha Warrior. But this one is more like the people are just wearing these like kind of
like exosuits almost.
Yeah, like an exosuit. There you go. That's the word I'm looking for.
Oh, like an exosuit boxing thing.
Yeah, and it's actually really good. I've watched. There's only 5 episodes out, so it's very new. And I've burned through 4 of them. So
lots of like anime boobs.
Not really.
No sexual jokes.
Not really.
Does it get
any tentacles
messed up?
It's so far. I mean, it's so far.
I tend
pretty
to go
good.
for the stuff that gets real fucked up.
I honestly think it has a solid story, though. Like, I don't know if it depends on what you consider fucked up, but it's like, very underdog story. Very, the guy's kind of comes from this, underground boxing,
that kind of stuff too.
That kind of stuff. It's really. I think it's a neat concept, and they play it. They pace it really well.
What was one that I watched that was fun? It was it was like In Another World with my smartphone.
Oh yeah, that's wild.
That was a fun one.
I've definitely seen it and heard a little bit about it, and of what I've heard, it's like that sounds oddly fascinating.
Yeah, this guy dies by mistake. God accidentally kills him. So God says, "All right, I'm going to give you. I'm going to bring you back to life, but in a different world. You'll never be able to communicate with your family, but you can take one thing." And he's like, "Can I take my smartphone?"
Yeah.
And so he goes back, and he's like super overpowered.
Yeah.
Ridiculously overpowered in this new world, and like the smartphone gives him like even more like overpoweredness. And suddenly he can do like all these things. Like but it's a world with like magic and sorcery and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And suddenly he can do like all of the things.
That sounds.
It is fucking hilarious.
Okay.
It is just like a total ridiculous silly.
So this is what we'll do. Like you watch Megalobox, I'll watch the smartphone
In Another
one.
World with my smartphone.
In Another World with my smartphone.
And I'll continue to try to make my way through the 2nd season of Jessica Jones on Netflix.
I don't think I even finished that myself.
I don't think I went through the first one.
Oh, really?
No.
Actually, dude, I fucking love the first season, dude. It was fucking, in my opinion, just really amazing. That's why I almost like, I think that's why I'm not that thrilled about the second one, because I'm like, there's no way it's better than the first one, dude. You know what I mean?
The thing is, I end up, when it comes down to watching stuff, I just watch anime a lot. Like I've blasted through all of the JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which I highly recommend. If you're an anime fan to any extent, that is definitely a C. That's a must see in my book.
There you go. There's two. I gave you a bonus one.
Oh, I got a bonus one.
Black Bullet.
Okay, I thought you were about to say Black Clover, and I was gonna slap you.
No, Pika no Boku.
Gesundheit.
Pika no Boku.
Pika no Boku. Okay.
Pika no Boku is basically like a pedophile fucking anime. I've never watched it, but it's one of those ones where you hear about it from fucking everyone.
Of course you gave me this.
No, I didn't give you Pika no Boku. Nothing like that.
Okay. I was worried.
Black Bullet is an anime where like there's this weird infection that's destroying everything in the world and turning every like normal animal to monsters.
Okay.
And there's individual towns which have put up these towers that defend them. And these girls who are partially infected, like it's like young girls are like these superpowered warrior sort of things that they pair up with other people to fight off the monsters that break through the protections of the tower, kind of thing. It's a sort of a drama.
Okay.
It's very interesting drama combat kind of thing. I really like it. It also is a little bit at the start, and not in like. So I don't know if you know Lolicon, right? And there's different levels, right? Like there's the one where it's like creepy, gross, like Pika no Boku, which is basically like 3 little training kids getting into all sorts of weird sexual misadventures that nobody wants to fucking see that shit.
Yeah.
But there's also the ones where it explores an inappropriate relationship that over time becomes an appropriate relationship that's not a sexual thing. That makes sense.
Interesting.
You'll understand when you watch it.
Okay.
It's actually it's like very heartwarming once you've reached the whole you've done the whole story.
Okay.
And it's mostly silly. It's not like creepy.
Okay.
In that respect.
I will for some reason take your word for it.
What's interesting to me is there's a genre of anime that explores younger people trying to have inappropriate relationships with older people. And then the older people restraining, not being involved in that inappropriate relationship, and slowly over time making that into a healthy relationship. And that's kind of a little bit of, I mean, that's like a very infinitesimal part of Black Bullet. It's not the main, like the whole other story is.
Do you just dictionary me with Hold on.
Wait, what?
You just slap me with a word that's just like, you sit there with the dictionary in front of you. It's like, I should remember this word. Infantationnel? And I don't know what the heck kind of word you use.
I don't remember that word. I don't think I said infantationnel.
I don't know what. I just got stuck on
infinitesimal.
That. There you go.
It's a very, very small part.
It's infinitesimal.
Okay.
Would be like an incredibly small part of it, the whole thing.
Like, damn.
Think like the sun and infinitesimal would be like one hydrogen atom.
Yeah.
Kind of
thing. I picked up what you're.
It's infinitesimal, not infinitesimal.
Okay, now I'm curious.
Because he just
infinitesimal.
We're gonna go to dictionary before we cut out today.
Oh yeah, infinitesimal or infinitesimally.
You're still missing the.
No, infinitesimal is one, and here I'll show you what I'm talking about.
We use dictionary.
I just thought that was interesting because I don't even know what that word means. So there's infinitesimal, like you're saying,
right?
But there's also infinitesimally.
Interesting. Bit of information for as we part ways.
I think that's there because Stabby searched it a bunch of times, dude.
Yeah, so they're just like, this is okay. I should use this word at some point.
No,
word randomization.
Infinitesimal.
There you go.
So I wonder if infinitesimally is even a word. Nope, it is a word.
It's
interesting. So it's essentially like
it's just it's a different way of using that word. You know, if you look at it, you can say like you see how it can be used slightly differently.
Well, it's interesting. So enough people have searched the wrong word.
Oh, that it's
leading you to the correct phrase of the word.
Okay.
The correct word. So
you're still sharing.
Oh, I'm still sharing. Oh no, they're gonna see my Twitter feed.
Oh no, your Twitter feed. I just figured, you might want to put that up.
Let's face it. I mean, of all the things that he could have accidentally screen shared, his Twitter feed's probably the safest.
Well, I follow some Twitters that are probably not safe for work. But
not safe for work, not safe for us. All right.
Oh, I'm sure you guys have seen porn before. There's several porn stars that are entertaining to follow. So they also put up a lot of their fucking porn to sell it. So usually there's porn on my Twitter feed. I'm not following because Twitter is not the best place to look for porn.
Yeah.
Unless you want to pay for it. Like some fucking savage.
Yeah, this is 10 years ago.
Yeah. All right.
Remember in the old days when porn was hard to get and you had to actually pay for it?
All right. On that note, we should probably go. We've gone a little bit long.
Ended on porn.
I also wanted to end it on porn.
Yeah. I just waited till we had porn and then we ended on porn. So there you go.
All right. My grandfather always said, ended on porn.
We have Daytois, Stabby, and myself, Angle, and this has been the 90th podcast. All right. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye-bye.